to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 24th, episode 171. My name is Adam, and always joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
And man, how's it? I want to apologize. The last few weeks at work has just been crazy, but we've been able to nail down a time now to record and whatnot. But how's your weeks? It's been a few weeks, man. How have you been?
Oh, between Spider-Man and Lion King, dead, basically, that's how I feel. Like, I'm just so worn out.
Oh yeah, man. I bet you've been super busy.
It's insane. It never stopped this weekend.
Yeah.
It just never stopped.
Oh yeah. Well, it's good. Disney's ranking it in.
Yeah. Now with the number 1 and 2 highest grossing movies ever.
Yeah, exactly. I saw an article, I think maybe it was Kotaku or IO9. It was like, Disney acquired studio beats out, or movie from Disney acquired studio beats out movie by a Disney acquired studio.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, same here. Work has been insane. I feel like since I've had my job here, I've had some promotions and stuff like that. But since I've had this last one, it's like, oh, hey, here's another hat. Oh, here's another hat. Here's another hat. We're going to put another hat on you. And now I'm literally the junk drawer.
Join the club.
Oh my God.
I know how that feels.
None of this is a part of my job. Oh my God. It's ridiculous now. Like at some point, it's one of those things. Like, do you sit down with your boss and be like, this is too much? Or everyone else is doing it so you can't? Ah, man, it's rough. I don't know. It's sometimes like, okay, well maybe I need to look elsewhere. So I don't know. It's just sometimes too much. But yeah, man, it's been crazy busy at work. I did have time to see Spider-Man, so we could talk about that.
Well, that
later
took long
on.
enough.
Go to some spoilers. I know we got a ton of Marvel news. But yeah, no, I definitely want to go see Lion King. Lion King got some mixed reviews.
I'll say this. It is a remake. It is a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah.
So if that's your thing, cool. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Well, from what I understand, none of that is the complaint. The complaint people have is it's the thing that I guess no one thought of, and I didn't either when I read this complaint, was that it looks so realistic that it looks like real animals, and it's hard to show emotion like you would in a cartoon, where it's all over the place in the cartoon with the emotion. You're seeing the emotional, their eyes and stuff when what happens with Mufasa, or when Simba and Nala meet up later on. Like, from what I understand, it's like, oh, it's just two animals, and it's hard to show. He has the same face that he has when he's excited, that he has when he's sad, and when he's sad.
And here's the thing. To an extent, that's true, because it's not over-exaggerated and holy crap kind of animated. It's subtle.
Right. And from what I understand, it's the lions where it's the worst, where
yeah.
they were able to do more with, like, the warthog. Timon and Pumbaa, and whatnot. But I haven't seen the movie, but that's just what I read.
It's a fair criticism, but I think it gets a little exaggerated, because you can see the emotion. It's just that it's subtle. It's not exaggerated, but you can clearly see, like, no, this is definitely sad. This is definitely excited. This is definitely afraid. Like, it is there. It's just not quite as
it's not animated.
It's like, not, for lack of a better word, it's not just as animated.
Right. Yeah. So I'm still gonna see it, obviously, but that's what I heard. I was like, okay. I was like, I didn't think about that.
But I mean, it's freaking beautiful. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But it is the exact. It's not like Aladdin where it's like, hey, we did this different. It's the exact same movie.
Yeah. Let me ask you, do you think? And I thought, Will Smith. You can't live up to to Robin Williams and what he did. It's almost impossible. Do you think they would have went with Robin Williams again if he would have still been alive?
I think there would have been. I think that would have been up to him.
Right. Do you think Disney would have rather gone and did kind of like what they did with Mufasa? Would they have went back and got Robin Williams and have been like, "This is your role"?
I kind of think that would have been. It definitely would have been a hurdle, if they had decided not to have him, because then, there would have just been all the complaints. Why didn't they get Robin and this and that?
Right.
So I really think the ball would have been in his court.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would have gone. I really have no idea. You can tell from all the behind the scenes and all the interviews that he had
Yeah.
just a ridiculous amount of fun doing that.
Right.
So it's hard to think he wouldn't have.
Right.
But on the other hand, I wonder if he would have looked at it and said, I did this already. Like, I did this a couple times. This is fun. Let somebody else have it.
Right.
I just don't know. But that definitely would have been a big.
Yeah.
I really think it would have had to have been up to him to come out and say, yeah, I want to do this and do something different with it, or to have come out and said, you know what, I did this. This was great. Let somebody else have a crack at it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's what I thought of when I was walking out. Just like it was missing all the impressions and just all the stuff that he did in the movie.
Well, but I mean, it was a whole different take.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, but I can't help. That's how I felt when I walked out. I was like, oh man, like the entire time it was just like it's not living up to what I remember and all the different things, and that's so hard. Like that's to me, it's almost impossible. So I don't hold it against Will Smith.
Yeah. Well, but I mean that's because it was a totally different movie, though.
Right.
It wasn't this. When you do get around to seeing The Lion King, that was the feeling that we all had leaving The Lion King, which was we want to go back and watch the animated one now.
Yeah.
Because it was the same movie. Aladdin was different. Aladdin was a different movie than what came before. This is not at all. It is exactly the same movie. So you look at it and you just go, I've seen a more fun and enjoyable version of this.
Right.
It's a cartoon, but it's the same. It's literally the exact same movie, and that's where I think this comparison is apt. I don't fault anybody who wants to come out of this movie and say the original was better, because it's the same thing. If you come out of Aladdin and you're like, well, I like the original one better, it's two different movies.
Yeah.
It's different that way. But yeah, Lion King is, and I mean, they hit the same beats and everything. So I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm definitely, the animated one is more fun. It is the better of the two. But I don't fault. I'm not going to be like, how can you like this one and not the other one? I did go enjoy it. It's gorgeous. It is an absolute masterpiece of like this is CG, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like shit, it's ridiculous. It's amazing. But
yeah, I don't even know what you call it now. It's animated, but it's like realistic animated. I guess.
But it is still animated. It's still computer generated. It's still fake.
Yeah, we need like a term for it, like I don't know, RCGI or something.
Real CGI.
Someone needs to coin a term.
It's just CGI. It's just better CGI. We're used to CGI being like, the Scorpion King.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's now a.
But I mean,
I think you're still okay. You're okay saying an animated film for like Frozen and for like the 2D traditional animation, but there's such a leap with this stuff, though.
That's true. But it is still animation. It's just a different kind of animation.
That's what I mean.
There's a difference between
they need to have a term.
It's a difference between a CGI movie and a cartoon movie. How
exactly.
About that?
That's what I guess that's what I'm saying is that when I say this is a cartoon, in your mind you think this is 2D classic animation. When I say I don't know. It's hard to say because if I'm gonna go see Frozen,
it's 3D. Like
I think people. It's kind of like the term Coke, where they're just like, "Oh, it's a Pixar movie," when they say that kind of animation. Does that make sense?
Sure, except Frozen's not a Pixar movie.
But you know what I mean? Like when your mom tells you to turn off the Super Nintendo, but you have a Sega.
Turn off
the Nintendo.
Turn off the Nintendo. Yeah, I get you.
I'm trying to think of what term people could use for this kind of movie because it was just like Jungle Book.
Yeah, which was a hybrid. I mean, here's the thing though. Jungle Book qualifies as live action because there was a real person in it.
That's true. There was one person.
Lion King doesn't because nothing in that movie is actually real. So
so that's where
it's an animated movie. It still qualifies. I know you're right. We need a different term for it, and saying CGI movie just doesn't sound right.
Right.
But it's not a cartoon, but it is still an animated movie.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't think of the channel. There's this YouTube channel that I follow now. And they're all. I think it's called Corridor Crew. Have you heard of them?
No, uh-uh.
Yeah, Corridor, Crew. And essentially what they do is their special effects team, and they sit down and they react to special effects
Oh,
that
I've
are good
seen
in
this.
movies.
I've seen this. Yes.
Yes, they've blown up real recently, and so
Yeah.
they'll sit down with bad special effects, good special effects, and they explain what happened, what went wrong, what the studio was trying to do. Like they'll pull things from movies that I never noticed, and they're like, oh yeah, they just made that picture like of some of the stuff, especially from like Wolverine Origins, or they'll take little pieces of that movie and they're like, they just made an image and then they made it bigger and then they brought it closer to the camera into the helicopter crashing, and they're like, they must have been on such a time crunch. And the lighting and everything else, and I don't know, it's a really cool channel. You obviously you've heard of them, so yeah,
Yeah.
check them out.
I've seen a couple of them. I just forgot. I actually don't think I knew what the channel was called. I just know the titles. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
VFX artists react to all this stuff.
Yep. And now they have now they're starting to do stuntmen, like reacting to like bad stunts and stuff like that, or like just where like it's completely missed. But yeah, man, it's really cool. It's a really fun channel to watch. And they talk about Aladdin in that movie, because they compare Aladdin to the Pokemon movie, and how to make, like how they made Will Smith in the trailer looks just not realistic, but how they could make Pikachu look totally realistic with his hair and his fur and the lighting and everything else, and it was just really fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's cool. But yeah, so I don't know. I've been going down a rabbit hole with that on YouTube. But anyway, sorry, didn't mean to get sidetracked.
No, that's all right.
But yeah, we're talking about the movies. Lion King, how much did that rake in?
What, like 191 and change? Like,
Nice.
just, God. And yeah, it did. I haven't seen, we haven't been this busy since Avengers.
Yeah.
It's madness. It's absolute madness.
Yeah.
But hats off to it. It's already made like $500 million around the world, I think.
Yeah.
Because it opened in China a week ago, I think. Like, it got a jump start over there.
Yeah.
And then it's a long way to second place this weekend. It is a very long way. Spider-Man Far From Home, about another 21 million. Toy Story third, 15.5. Crawl at 6 million. Crawl has made some decent money, which is a little surprising. I'm sorry. I have to look up. Give me a second, because I have to look up the tomato meter for Crawl, because this
I saw your post about
okay. Here's the thing. Crawl wants to be like a schlocky, like so bad it's funny kind of B movie. It wants to have like those Evil Dead kind of vibes and all that stuff. And I completely understand. It's Sam Raimi. It's a whole, it's a whole big thing, and that's fine. I get that. I understand that. It fails spectacularly. It's terrible. It's just a bad movie. It's less Evil Dead and more The Hurricane Heist. I don't understand. This thing has an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. How? I have no idea how. There's one every year. I can't remember what the one was last year, but I will find it one day. I have no clue how. The movie's awful. The only reason that I enjoyed it at all was the group I went with just shredded it the entire time.
Right.
And that was what was fun. The movie's terrible. It's awful.
Yeah.
But it is nothing but just you look at this and you think, oh, I hope they don't do this cliched thing. They do. Every time. It's exactly like the Hurricane Heist was last year, except people recognized that was crap. I'm sure that's probably at like a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Don't. It's terrible. If you watch the trailer, it's literally nothing but cliches.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh god, this looks awful. And it was.
I mean, sometimes people just want that, right? Like, they just want a movie about a monster that's going to eat people.
But it's just not like a mindless bad that you can enjoy.
I hear you though.
It's bad.
That's what I heard going. I never went and saw it yet, but that's what I heard from everyone that wanted to see it and the people that did see it were they're pretty much on the same page as like that looks like a monster movie that where people just get eaten by alligators in Florida, and then like the people who saw it were like, yeah, it's a monster movie about people getting eaten by alligators. So like that's what I don't know.
But it's just bad.
Right.
It's just bad, and I look at this tomato meter and I'm like, I don't get this. The
See,
audience.
This is something that I could see myself watching on Netflix when it arrives for free on a Thursday night, you know.
Sure, and that's totally fair. I like that. Go for it. Don't go pay to see this movie. It's awful.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, I try not to be that guy, but when I look at something like this with an audience score of 76 on top of that, I'm like, what? This is why we can't have nice things. You know, we you know, people hated Alita, but they love this. Are you kidding me? Like the audience at large. Alita has a very rabid following amongst its fans, as well it should, because it was fantastic and it deserves a sequel. Alita, Battle Angel.
Oh yes, that's on Amazon I think right now.
Is it?
I was thinking about renting that.
Do it. It's so good.
Yeah, I rented Shazam.
That's fair. Shazam was fun. Shazam was exactly what it looked like it was going to be. Shazam was as advertised.
Oh, yeah.
And I appreciate that. Shazam got a little dark in places, though, and it did not prepare me for that. But it was... Yeah. It worked, you know. And I'll tell you something that surprised the hell out of me. Stuber. Stuber is funny as hell. It Stuber. Has... Dave Bautista, Kumail Nanjiani... came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It has no right to be as funny as it is. It is an enjoyable movie.
Okay.
It really is. It came out the same week as Crawl did, and of the two, I infinitely enjoyed Stuber more. But also, it's just fun. That's your movie of like, this looks like a doofus sort of like, here's a cop, here's a guy who gets roped into it, dumb action ensues, kind of the end, more or less, with a little bit of plot thrown in. It's exactly as advertised.
What it reminded me is he's an Uber driver, right?
Yes.
It kind of reminded me of when, like, in Deadpool, when he hops in the car with the taxi driver, and it's just goofiness.
Yeah, now imagine if Mohinder had not been a fan and had just had, like, panic attacks all the time. And
right.
But legitimately, it's meta. And I loved it. They kept a little bit of that. There are some points... There's one point where an electric car explodes and then it just sits there and it burns. And it's great because there's somebody that actually hollers out in the actual movie, "It's an electric car, how is it still on fire?" Because it doesn't make any sense to burn like a gasoline car.
Right.
There are little sprinkles of that throughout the movie. Not a ton, not like Deadpool levels of meta, but just like here and there of like, this doesn't make any sense. What is this? Oh, this is a cliche. I don't, when Batista gets in the car and he's like, "Have you ever shot someone?" or something, he rattles off a couple of like, "Oh, and I bet you also think I walk away from explosions in slow motion." And it's great because it plays off like, "Yeah, I know, it was stupid as soon as I asked. I get it. Like, they play on that, and it's really fun.
Yeah. That's good. I want to see that.
Yeah, that's one that's worth, if you've got, it's only like an hour and a half, hour 40. It's not a long movie.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth the time. But I still I will never understand this Crawl tomato meter. Never.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
I saw a terrible movie over the week on Netflix called Secret Obsession.
I don't think I've heard of it.
We watched it at like 3 a.m. and it's terrible. It's just, oh my god, it's so terrible. It's like I don't even want to get into it, but it's just one of those movies you see on Netflix it's like it's advertised as the thing that's dropped this week, like.
Oh yeah.
And it's just
those are almost always unfortunate.
Yeah, it's got the guy from Allstate commercials, and it's got some girl from the Disney Channel, and it's just totally bad. It's just totally bad. But it was one of those, like, it's 3 a.m., we have nothing to do, we're playing cards, and we put that on.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was fun. Oh, also caught up on Lucifer. Did we talk about that? Did you ever see that show?
I saw like the first episode, and it was again, it's that thing of like, oh, this looks kind of neat. I'll watch this. Never watched it.
Yeah, I was watching it with somebody, and then we just then it led into we watched 8 episodes, and it was like, okay, well, I guess this is gonna be the show that when we hang out we watch, and so that's literally what we did. But it dropped on Netflix. Apparently, it's been doing huge numbers on Netflix for streaming.
Yeah.
And I think we went to season 4, and I think there's gonna be a 5th season they're gonna do. But it's pretty good. It's one of those, it's a cop show, but there's this one extra element, and it's this person, you enter Bones or I don't know what, you name it. You know all the different kind of shows.
The Mentalist, the Medium, they were all, it's all that.
Yep, and this key he's the devil. So it's funny. It's ridiculous. But I don't know. It's cool. But yeah, so caught up on that. I don't know, man. I need to sink my teeth into a good television show. I miss fantasy now because Game of Thrones is gone. We'll talk about, I guess, in a little bit there's a few different shows that are going to be coming out. We've dropped some trailers for that's fantasy wise for Netflix.
Yeah.
Do we get any dates on those?
For the Netflix stuff?
Yeah.
You mean for any of the fantasy stuff or the Marvel stuff?
Yeah. For the
not that I saw, I don't think.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. But I think earlier this year it was leaked that it was supposed to be November or December.
Yeah.
Rumor has it was supposed to be the same day as the Star Wars opening.
That's stupid.
Yep, that would be. I mean, I don't know. It's Netflix, so it's hey, go watch Star Wars. But you're right. It's stupid for them to drop it the same weekend because everyone's going to be doing that. But I mean, it's Netflix. You can kind of do it at your own leisure. But you're right. I don't know. That'd be one hell of a weekend, though.
Yeah, I guess.
We'll get that. We'll get Star Wars. We'll get Cats. It'll be a grand old time.
Jesus, that was a trailer. That was a fucking trailer.
That was a trailer, huh?
That was a trailer. I wish I had anything more to say than that. It's just
I don't even know what happened. There was just weird CGI cats. Now Sonic looks okay.
Oh, ow.
Now it looks fine. Now, why even waste all that time? Now there's cats to compare it to. It doesn't look that bad.
I mean, I guess, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was a trailer. That sure was. We had a lot of them this week.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
anyway, yeah. So those are the movies for this weekend. We got what Once Upon a Time in Hollywood comes out this week.
Yeah, that's the only thing too, I think.
Yeah, that's how long is this? 4 hours?
Oh God, is it really?
It's 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Well, it's a Tarantino movie.
I know, but still.
I'll
look.
Yeah, 2 hours and 45 minutes.
That's fair. I get that.
Yeah, you kind of expect that with him. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking 4 hours. It's not the Lord of the Rings extended edition.
It's because on Netflix they split the Hateful Eight into a mini series.
That's true.
That's insanity to me. I looked at this and I was just like, Jesus.
30-minute episodes. I mean, it adds up.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense. It's well, the problem with that, and I didn't mind it the first time I saw it. That's the thing. I never mind it the first time I see a Tarantino movie because it's
sure,
you're in. It's a book. You're getting through it and it's fun. And the thing with his movies is usually it's worth it. Usually the build up and what they're setting up is worth the payoff. But I never go back and watch his movies unless it's certain clips. Maybe Pulp Fiction every once in a while.
That's fair. I get that.
Yeah, but it's hard to, I don't know. He would actually be great with television, a Netflix 8-episode series for 30 minutes or an hour.
Don't tease. That would be amazing.
Yeah, give me a Kill Bill or something like that. That would give me an episodic series. He would be perfect at that. And I think I don't know if that's in the news, but he teased that. I think earlier this week.
Yeah, he talked about Kill Bill 3. It was just if there was ever if there were any of his movies he would go back to, that would be it.
That would be it. But he also talked about the idea of also the Star Trek. He said his Star Trek was going to be rated R.
Well, and I think wasn't there also a thing of like if he was gonna do Star Trek, that would be his last movie.
That was the news, yeah. Like if he did a Star Trek, that would be the last one. I don't know if I want to see a Star Trek movie from him.
I no.
It's a funny idea.
It's an interesting idea and it's fun to think about, but I don't think it would. I think at the end it probably wouldn't work.
It wouldn't mesh well for me at all. Like it's I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like that just doesn't seem right.
I don't know though. Star Trek's been getting dark. I haven't seen the second season of Discovery yet, but I mean between.
Oh, man, I'm trying to get through the first season. I made the mistake of doing it with commercials.
Oh boo.
Oh man! And then I called Netflix, and I'm like, I had like a $10 gift certificate for Netflix, or whatever, credit, and I'm like, oh, can I just put this on it and pay to get no commercials? And they're like, no, you can cancel your subscription and then resubscribe. Oh my god, I don't want to do all that. So yeah, so I'm just gonna wait until the month's over, or I don't know, it's like a week or two now, and then I'm gonna resubscribe with no commercials. But I'm like 3 episodes to the end of the first season. And I hear the second season's amazing.
I just by the time they get through the end of the first season, it's like, say what now? Like I'm sure you've been to that point where you're like, oh, okay, so this is happening.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean. Maybe I'm not 3 episodes, but yeah. Like it's all crazy right now, and
yeah.
It's weird because it's nothing like any of the other Star Treks, which I guess is cool.
And that's kind of the point. Was like, and it's even why it's on the ship it's on and everything. Is like they set this on something that's so totally different.
Yes.
And so they made a totally different show. I was like, I dig it. I'm good with that.
Oh yeah, and it's kind of like, I guess what is the old school Star Trek is that what's that other show, or the Oval, or
Orville.
Orville,
yeah.
Orville, yeah, and that's going to Hulu, right?
Is it?
Yeah, the next season is going to be fully Hulu.
Huh? So it's not going to be on Fox anymore.
It's not going to be on Fox, no. Huh. They think it's going to be better if it's just a strictly Hulu television show. Maybe it's because they see that because that's where I always see the advertising is on Hulu for that show.
Fair enough.
Imagine that does good on their
I'm sure
on their app. That's more like Next Generation. That's more like every episode it's a new adventure, and we have some comedy and we have some laughs and some action, and it's very classic Star Trek. It's a love letter to it. Where this is like an action movie for Star Trek, if that makes sense.
Kind of. It's an action thriller in a way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool science stuff in it too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of at the point now where it's like I need something to change, and obviously with 3 episodes left, something's gonna change.
It's gonna change.
Yeah, it's gonna change. I want it to be a different story or different arc at this point. But yeah, I'm just, it's the commercials that are like, it's making episodes last so much longer. I'm like, wait, I gotta wait 90 seconds, then I'll pause it, I'll go do something, I'll come back, I'll play it, and then boom, another commercial. I'm like, fucking A. I don't know. Sorry, my little rant there.
That's all right. I'm just going through Rotten Tomatoes here. So Crawl has an 83%. Here are here are better movies with lower tomato meter ratings. Yesterday at 63%, Stuber at 42%, Aladdin at 56%.
Oh wow.
Secret Life of Pets 2 at 59%. It's ridiculous. Nothing should have this, and I'm trying to go down and just
Who owns Rotten Tomatoes?
Do what?
Who owns Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know offhand.
Okay, it's owned by Fandango?
Is it? Okay.
Who owns Fandango?
I think they're their own thing.
Let's see here. Let's go deep.
All right.
It's owned by Fandango, of which Warner Brothers owns 33% of.
Okay, who else owns...
And Comcast and Universal own 70%. Who made Crawl?
You asked me too quick here. Crawl was made by... I really feel like it was one of the smaller studios. Paramount. So not smaller, but not any of them.
Yes. Okay, so my theory is wrong.
I was gonna say, I was like, so that just kind of completely destroyed your theory.
Yes.
All it had to be was like distributed by Universal or something. Nope, Paramount. It's like, well, shit.
Yep. That yeah.
It's
Cool.
it's not. I mean, it's bad. It's just
Yeah.
bad. I don't understand.
I don't know, man. That Adam Sandler movie was like one of the most watched things in Netflix opening history or whatever.
But here's the thing. You know, people are brainwashed to accept Adam Sandler. I have made my peace with that. Even though he hasn't done anything good in a very long time, I have made my peace with people are going to watch Adam Sandler movies. Okay,
Right.
fine.
People are gonna watch just dumb monster movies.
But they're gonna come out and say it sucked. And this is critics I'm talking about.
You're right.
Like,
it's weird that it's.
I can understand like if the tomato meter was at like 15% where it belongs, and the audience score was at 76%. That's fine. I don't care about that. Like that I understand. The critic side of this is in the why? Why? What the hell movie did they watch? Because it sure wasn't the same one I saw.
It's got a cool poster.
I mean, yeah, but, you know, so did Dark Phoenix. What's your point?
Yeah, you're right. Oh, man. Rest in peace, X-Men.
Oh, well, no time for mutants.
Yep.
So, movie news.
Yep.
That was just some Kevin Feige bullshit. That was great. We don't even have time to talk about, you know, everything that's going to be in Phase 5. Like,
yeah. Let's talk about Endgame, man.
Yeah, it took Endgame 13 weeks to do what Avatar did in 46.
Yeah.
Almost a year Avatar was in theaters.
That's crazy.
And that includes the 3 months for the special edition re-release that added another like 10 million and change to the total.
Wow.
Endgame did that in 13 weeks. A third of the time it took Avatar to do that.
Well, I mean, also movie ticket prices was different.
I don't get into this inflation garbage because as soon as you start doing that, every single record goes out the window because it's all gone with the wind. Literally.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, that was back when movies were in the theater just for years. Like they never left.
Well, because they weren't. I mean, this was. What was Avatar? 2007, right? No, 9.
Right. No, I mean like Gone with the Wind. That's when they were literally in the theater for years.
Well, and they
just
also
didn't leave.
Like, and that was the thing. Like everybody came in. Like that was just what you did, and you would come in, you'd pay your ticket, and that doesn't mean you'd stay for the movie.
There was no home video back then.
Well, and also like you'd come in, you'd pay for your ticket whenever, you'd walk in, you'd see part of it, you'd leave. That would count. Mm-hmm. You know, showtimes didn't start until Psycho.
Right. Yep.
So,
That's why he killed her so. That's why he killed her. She's a big actress. So early.
So they're like, holy sh-. And it worked again really well with Scream. So there was that.
Oh yeah. Man, I was just talking about Scream. We were talking about Scream this week, and I was just like, oh my god, like I think that's one of the last times. There's been a few since then, but that like big surprise for a scary movie, or like not surprise, but like you felt you needed to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Because Scream is right there with now Jason and that's what we were watching. We were watching Nightmare on Elm Street, like the 2010 version.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or whatever it was. Oh yeah, it's the guy from Watchmen. I knew immediately when I saw his face and heard the voice. Like, oh, that's the guy from Watchmen.
Yeah, it's Rorschach. Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, this is bad.
Oh, he tries. He tries so damn hard, but he can't save it. Like it's just bad. It's just awful.
His face just didn't. I don't know. It was too short. His face just didn't look like. I don't know. Everything about the other Freddy was just better. But I never really was a Freddy fan either. I never really liked those movies. But I don't know. The last Scream was right there. I think it was probably after that it was like Saw, and it was getting like grotesque to get grotesque kind of movies.
Yeah, well, they became more mainstream. Like, I mean, horror movies of that, like, especially like really gory horror movies have always been a thing, but they were never front and center.
Right. This was like one of the last true slasher.
Yeah. And even like the first Saw is not that.
Right.
They got worse as the series went on, especially once you hit like 4 and and after. The first Saw is a psychological just complete trip.
Right, and the twists are what I found interesting, and like that's what was so awesome about Scream is there was a genuine mystery to it,
Yes.
and you just lose that in these kind of movies these days. It just has to be grotesque, or it has to be like we've released a bunch of people to purge and kill, and it's not the same.
Yeah, it's like what's
I'm shocked they haven't brought the Scream series back, and I know they did like an MTV series, but I mean like a
oh,
true.
Well, here's the thing: they
series.
did a Scream 4, and it just kind of flopped.
Yeah.
And I mean, here's the thing: how do you reboot that as a movie? And I don't think they found the right idea yet. If you haven't watched the Scream series, watch it. It's fantastic.
Where do I watch it?
It was on Netflix.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it still is or not, but I know it used to be.
Let's see here.
But it's
It is.
Is it still on there?
Oh, it is.
Watch it. I'm telling you, it's good.
Series, 2016.
Yeah, they did 2 seasons.
How about that?
They did 2 seasons and like a TV movie, like supposed to be a finale but wasn't. And they were working on a 3rd season last I saw, but I don't know if that's stalled out or what. But it's damn good.
Okay. Yeah, I'll watch that. Oh, you know what else I watched this week?
What's up?
Euphoria. Have you seen it?
No, I don't think I've heard of it.
Oh man, it's got Zendaya from Spider-Man.
Okay, so I have heard of it. Yeah, it's on HBO, right?
HBO. So it was super interesting seeing her go from that group of friends to the group of friends that she has in Euphoria.
whole other side of the spectrum, I guess. Yeah.
Oh my God, these kids, they are bad. It's like Kids, the TV show. You ever seen Kids, the movie?
No.
Kids from 1995. It's a movie just about a bunch of kids in New York that do drugs and I think all end up getting AIDS or something. Like, it's fucked up. But
that wasn't the one that they investigated as like child pornography, was it?
I think it is.
Okay.
The movie opens up with like straight up like you're just like they can't be kids because it's a movie. There's no way, but they look like they're 12, 13 years old.
Okay, so I've heard of it. I'm aware of like okay, I get the vibe now.
It's extremely just fucked up. Like but it deals with real issues. It deals with real, it's one of those like super extreme. Like I you always knew of I guess some kids in school that were like that. This makes it seem like everyone is like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the show premise says Euphoria follows a group of high school students as they navigate drugs, sex, identity, trauma, social media, love, and friendship. And like the show opens up with just like one of the new kids who I don't even know if we should get into it. It's just fucked up. Like she's meeting people on Craigslist. It's just bad. It's super bad what they're doing. But it's real kids. Like there's a trans girl. There's just so many. It's real, if that makes sense.
Fair enough.
But it's fucked up. It's dark and kind of twisted. I don't know. It's just real. I don't know. It's one of those like we binge watched like 6 episodes or 5 episodes, and the 6th one came out Sunday, and it was like I just weren't in the mood to watch it. It's like I don't feel like being depressed right now because these kids are all. Someone's getting AIDS. Someone's like it's not going to a good place. But I don't know, and it's also about rehab. One of them is actually like in rehab and finally staying sober. And I think that's the idea of the show is you're gonna see it through her eyes, of her hopefully come out the other end, not all fucked up. But man, it's messed up. But it's interesting. It's on HBO. If you don't have a code or whatever, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good stuff. Where were we?
Just getting started.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of trailers come out the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
And did you see the Mr. Rogers trailer, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
I did.
Oh man. This is going to be that movie where it's just you just go in and enjoy it. There's not going to be a twist, there's not going to be high drama. It's this looks to me like this is just going to be a pure look at Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
And I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah. Have you seen the documentary on HBO?
I haven't, but I mean to.
Yeah.
Because it came out in theaters. It was
Right.
oh, I can't even remember what it's called anymore. Wasn't it Won't You Be My Neighbor? That was it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I have the poster, but I never I didn't actually see it. But
I'll give you a code for the HBO. Definitely will check it out. It's on there.
awesome.
I watched the Robin Williams documentary on it too, and it was fascinating, his life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's something. The biography on him that came out a few years ago. It's a tome. It's massive. I've never I don't think I've gotten more than 100 and some pages in, and I've gotten nowhere.
Wow. Oh, jeez.
It's crazy because you don't hear a lot about early Robin,
Right.
But this delves a lot into that. It's really, most of us just think of him as oh yeah, he did stand-up comedy, and then he was Mork, and then he was the genie. And
no,
it's
he went to an all-boys school, and
yeah, it's oh, there's so much more to it than that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's something else I need to get back into reading.
He went to school with Christopher Reeves, right?
I always love that story. That class, the people in that class, some of them were Chris Reeves, Robin Williams, and Kevin Conroy.
That's crazy.
Batman, Batman, Superman, and the Genie all went to Juilliard together.
That's crazy.
It's insane. It's insane. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that's some Justice League shit right there.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
We had the Kingsman prequel got a trailer, and it looks like the Kingsman, but 80 years ago or whatever it is.
Yep.
So that'll be neat. Ralph Fiennes doing all that stuff. The Maleficent sequel got a trailer. It got a couple different trailers actually, and it that looks mildly interesting. I enjoyed the first one, so I'll give this one a whirl. What's up? You sounded like you were gonna say something.
No, Maleficent is not my thing.
Not interested. I mean, that's fair. That's totally fair.
When I saw the trailer, I was like, it looks better than the first one, but I have no interest.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
They dropped. Yeah, they dropped the first Mulan trailer, the live-action Mulan.
Yep. That actually looks pretty good.
That does. I'm gonna be kind of bummed. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't think they're gonna have Cricket or Mushu.
Yep.
But this
the singing.
Yeah, that's gonna drag a lot of people away. But it's a different tone. This is a movie because you forget Mulan is a war story.
Right.
And that's what this looks like. It's a war movie. Mm-hmm. So I'm okay with that. I think this looks badass.
Right.
I'm excited. It comes out in March. It's end of March. Yep. God, March is gonna be busy next year.
Yeah.
We got a new Jumanji trailer.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't stop laughing. I love what they're doing with this, where it's oh yeah, we introduced Danny Glover and Danny DeVito. Why?
Yep.
So that Kevin Hart can play Danny Glover trapped in Kevin Hart's body, and The Rock can play Danny DeVito trapped in The Rock's body.
It's fantastic.
It's brilliant, and so the guy who plays Fridge is now stuck in Jack Black's body. I love that they've switched so many of them around.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be hilarious. Who is Jumanji?
It's fantastic.
Oh god, that had to be such a blast. That had to be just an absolute blast to do.
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine though pitching that, going up to The Rock and being like, okay, so give us your best Danny DeVito.
Oh man.
It's gonna be great. Kevin Hart does a phenomenal Danny Glover. Yeah. It's great. It's so great.
But he really does.
So I'm excited about that. I'm really gonna hate Christmas this year though. It's gonna suck so much. There was the Charlie's Angels reboot got a new trailer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look terrible. Which is more than I can say for the last two Charlie's Angels movies that they tried to do.
Yeah, that's not my thing. I didn't like the other ones either.
Yeah, that's fair.
I never got into it.
I don't know. This looks like it could at least be interesting, which I'm
Yeah,
down
it's
for.
got what's her name from Power Rangers, right? Pink Ranger.
Yeah, Naomi Scott, who
Yeah.
was also Jasmine.
Yeah. Yep.
So she's on a roll.
Yep.
The first trailer for Knives Out came out, and that looks fun. That's quite a cast with Daniel Craig and Chris Evans and that whole lot. Like that's a fun looking little whodunit.
Yeah.
We got the first trailer for Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and it looks like a Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah.
And you're either going to be here for it or you're not. Like those, he doesn't make movies to change people's minds.
It actually looks better than I thought it was going to look.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah, I was expecting way more recent Kevin Smith movies. God bless him.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad
Nice.
I'm shocked that he got a lot of the people back because I think he just owns the rights to Jay and Silent Bob. So I think all of the other characters, I don't know how he's getting around it.
I wonder what that's like, because I think those reports were all like pre-Weinstein liquidation.
Oh, okay.
And I wonder, because I know that was a thing for a while where he didn't own the rights, because I think the Weinstein Company did. But after they got liquidated, I don't know what happened to those rights. I have no idea who holds them.
I hope he does, because I would love to see smaller Kevin Smith movies where he's able to, those characters can come in and out.
Yeah. Oh, I would love Clerks 3. Absolutely.
Clerks 3, yeah.
Like
Mallrats. I know he's shopping that around. Yeah, no, I hope this does good. Is this coming out in the theaters?
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be in theaters.
So it's going to theater. Okay.
Especially because it's Jay and Silent Bob. It's not it's based on a known property.
Right.
They'll get some press for it. It'll be a thing. And I'm looking forward to it. But you're right. It has very much like the old school, View Askew Kevin Smith vibe.
And that's what a lot of people, I think, I'm not alone in thinking they've missed that, because as much as I love his experimental stuff, those characters, they just hold a place, and it's nostalgia for us, idiots that watched that stuff in the 90s and early 2000s. So.
And I love how he described it. He said, look, the last time we saw Jay and Silent Bob, they were going out to Hollywood to stop a movie based on a comic book that was based on them from being made. So now they're going out to Hollywood to stop a movie that's a reboot of a movie that's based on a comic book that's based on them from being made.
Exactly.
It's like, and that's why you can't argue with it. It's self-aware all the way, and that's the thing. Either you're here or you're not. Like, there's no gray area with Kevin Smith films. There's not.
I wonder how much it costs to make it.
Probably not a whole lot.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's one of those where like this can make little money and still be profitable.
Well, here was the thing. When he made Tusk, say about that what you will.
Yeah.
When whoever it was stepped in and bought the international distribution rights, he was in the black. That deal by itself covered the cost of the movie and then some.
Oh, wow.
Just that. And it was not a large deal either.
Oh, wow.
So he is fantastic at making movies on a very small budget.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. It's Tarantino's gotten way away from that because he is a big budget. Kevin Smith doesn't need a big budget to make the funny, quippy, ridiculous.
Exactly. He just looks at this and goes, "Why can't we just do that?" And so they do. And if they can't, then he's not a CGI guy. He's gonna look at something and say, "Well, if it's some of it to an extent, but most of it's practical." And if it's not, then he'll just find a way around it.
Yeah, it's the movies are about dialogue. It's about sitting down and having a real conversation, and then talking about Star Wars. Ridiculous stuff like that, and getting broken up with, and running around, and then having this is what those kind of movies are going into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's gonna be good.
And then we got the first trailer for the Top Gun sequel, which all the reports about it leading up to it were talking about, this movie was about like the next generation of pilots and this and that, and the trailer comes out and nope, it's about Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Which, look, I'm fine. I don't care. Like, it's Top Gun. I'm not expecting great things from it. So, hey, good for them. Go for it. Rock on.
Look cool though. Look like a movie you see on the 4th of July or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Which I'm surprised they didn't like. I don't know if it has a date, but that's when I would release that movie.
it just says 2020. But yeah, if you don't do it July
No,
4th weekend 2020, you're kind of like,
yeah,
I don't know what the hell you're doing.
this says June 26th. That's right there, right?
Yeah, bump it a week. Oh, I don't know if they can bump it a week though, can they? Because what's a week from that? It'd be close. It'd be 4th of July weekend. They can bump it forward a week.
Yeah, it's 1 week before, which it's still in the theater. It's in the theater for July 4th. That's to me, you'd go see that movie on July 4th
Oh yeah,
that weekend.
yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But we had, those were the movie trailers that we had this weekend. We got TV trailers, but we'll get to them here in a bit.
Yeah.
Quick little bit of news that, of course, people on the internet set their hair on fire. Disney's Little Mermaid live action film has its Ariel. It's Halle Bailey, who is part of a duo that I had heard of.
I hear she's a good singer.
They performed at WrestleMania this year.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, I think they did America the Beautiful. They did one of the two, and I can't remember which one because I usually just don't pay attention to the opening stuff, so I couldn't tell you. But I remember it was like, oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. So yeah, and of course the internet lost their mind because she's black, and I don't care. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me?
So ridiculous.
The crab has a Jamaican accent. What do you think he was? Like, I don't.
I never thought about it like that.
Don't care.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's like, this is set in the Mediterranean with a white prince and a Jamaican crab. Like, who are we really gonna get into this? Like, I don't care. I really don't give a damn.
I think Terry Crews was trying to be like her dad, right?
I would love that. I would love the hell out of that. I absolutely
great.
would. It'd be great.
Yeah.
It may be a little.
As long as she can sing, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah,
right?
I'm that and the red hair. I would be a little bummed if she didn't still have the red hair. Just because
that is definitely an iconic look for her.
Right.
I don't see why they couldn't.
Yeah. No.
Black people can't have red hair.
Right. But I'm just, I think I love Terry Crews to death. I think that might be a little too goofy for them.
It would look like the commercial of
it would. And I'm just like,
because just the way he would portray it.
Yeah, I don't know. I love him to death. We'll see what happens.
All for it though, man. I love the music in that movie.
Yeah, oh hell yeah.
I can't tell you anything that happens on the land in that movie, but I do like the music.
They go to the castle and like there's a long drawn out scene in the kitchen.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you one thing about the land in that movie.
Exactly. No.
Everything I remember from the movie was under the sea. Oh, I know when they're in the boat. Okay, so I know that when they're on the boat singing "Kiss the Girl."
Yeah.
Kiss the Girl. See, it's in my head now.
Uh-huh.
They gotta have the music in that movie.
Oh yeah, this one's definitely gonna be a musical.
Yeah.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
But so we had Comic-Con this weekend, and Marvel made a little bit of noise.
Yes, they did.
just a bit.
Yeah, man. Let's get into the Marvel stuff.
Yeah. So I know I put this on top, but I wanna save this for how they ended the panel. But they went through and talked about stuff that we already knew for the most part. It had leaked a little bit earlier in the week that everybody had signed on for a fourth Thor movie. But really, that was all we knew. We knew Taika was coming back to write and direct. We didn't know that it was going to have the single most 80s, like, hair metal title of any movie that's been made since the 80s.
Yes.
I love the card. I really do, because it looks like every ridiculous thing that Ubisoft did as an expansion, like 5 years ago. It's Blood Dragon, it's the Trials Fusion, whatever on earth that thing was called, where they just went nuts. Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yes.
I'm in. Done. Sold. Mm-hmm. Sign me up.
I hope they don't change the font like they did with Ragnarok.
Right.
Because they both were like, do you remember Ragnarok's?
It had the same kind of thing going.
Yeah, it was very super 80s.
Yeah.
But yes, the Love and Thunder. It looks like
It looks like
an animated series or a cartoon that would come out.
it looks like something on the side of a van.
It totally
That's
does.
exactly what it looks like.
Yes, it's
and
perfect.
and the fact that they have talked about they're pulling directly from Jason Aaron's The Mighty Thor,
Yes.
and Natalie Portman is back, and she will be a female Thor. Like, I'm in. Sign me up. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
Do you think they'll go? I don't know if this is spoilers. I don't know if we should talk about what happens in that run.
I don't know if they're gonna go full on with her story and everything.
Okay.
I think they're gonna change it because that's depressing as hell.
That would be another. In one way, I think they would do that because that would be another. Man, Thor. You know, he has gone through the ringer more than I think anyone in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Now obviously Iron Man had a hell of a ride. Captain America, but I think they get all the attention always.
Yeah, but I mean, Thor. Look at everything that Thor has lost and then gained and then lost again.
Yes.
Like,
oh yeah.
He, you know, between his entire family, his adopted family, and his home, his people, his hammer, and then his hammer again, an eye, his complete sense of worth. Like, I mean, you want to talk about somebody who's had the whole hero's journey. It's Thor.
Yeah. And it's I think it's, you know, kind of the only thing he has left, I guess, is Jane. But, you know, she wasn't there in the end. And that's why I find this so fascinating. I'm shocked that they got her, Natalie Portman, to come back on, especially after not being invited back to the third Thor movie. But now
it must have been a hell of a pitch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see this. I think it's going to be great. I mean, Jason Aaron's run, anything Jason Aaron touches right now is gold.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're just getting into comics, or you're like, where do I start? Go read anything Jason Aaron. Go start with the Thor series. Even, you know, he even did because she's in Mighty Thor. Yeah. And he did a run with Thor where he's unworthy.
Yeah, he did that first. Well, because the first bit of Thor was him losing the hammer and getting the axe and all that stuff. She doesn't come along until later.
Right. But I think it's just called Thor.
Yeah.
And it's just him, and he gets a dog. It's very much, I don't know, it's really cool. But both of those runs, and it was just a short one. Actually, with her, with Jane, it was kind of long actually. But anyway, any of those, you can go with those. They're so good, and hearing that they're pulling directly from that gives me hope. But yeah, I'm fascinated how they're going to do this. Now they showed. I don't want to try to pronounce the hammer's name. What is it called again?
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir, yeah. It's in my head always when I see it, but I never can pronounce it correctly. That hammer is gone, right? It's in the past.
Yes.
So they showed that on stage, so I'm curious how that's going to come back into play. Because he has his, whatever, the one that Beta Ray Bill should have. Which, is he going to be in this? Is he going to be in the Guardians? Who knows? I'm fascinated.
It's hard to tell.
Stormbreaker, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm so excited for this. That was probably my favorite thing announced there.
It's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there for me, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
They also, of course, they talked about Black Widow. That was kind of their big sort of show closing piece, was to talk about Black Widow. It comes out May 1st next year.
Yeah.
Their cast includes a bunch of people I know playing a bunch of people I don't know, because I'm not familiar with a lot of that side of the Marvel Universe. Mm-hmm. David Harbour as Alexei, I know, is the Red Guardian, which is kind of like the Russian equivalent of Captain America.
Yes.
And that's the extent of every character there that I know. Mm-hmm. We got Florence Pugh, because I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm very sorry, as Yelena. Rachel Weisz as Melina. And O.T. Fagbini as Mason.
Yes.
I don't know.
And David is from Stranger Things, right?
Yes, and he was the new Hellboy.
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's right.
He was a good Hellboy. Movie was not great, but he was good. Yeah.
So Taskmaster is the villain of that movie, right?
Yes, they did confirm that.
Which one of those characters is Taskmaster?
I don't think any of them.
They're not.
No, I don't think so.
Who's who was see Taskmaster in the comics? He always popped in. He knew everyone's moves. He was a skeleton. He has a sword. He's got arrows. He looks kind of cool. Looks very fantasy, but I don't know much about him.
He's a mercenary. He's a mercenary with, what is it? A photo. It's not a photogenic memory, but it's something similar. It's, he basically just, he sees it, he can do it.
Okay.
Which is an interesting, not subtle mutant power to have. Even though he's not a mutant, it would be a fun little... I really hope that they pepper Phase 4 with mutants.
They didn't say who's playing Taskmaster?
Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Huh, that's interesting.
So
usually that's revealed.
Yeah.
Of who the human playing the character.
Right.
I wonder if it's one of those characters.
It may well be.
Or if it's like a clone of her, that'd be trippy.
That would be weird.
Imagine she's still in the franchise. She's still in the Avengers, but she's now a villain, and she's Taskmaster. That would be a crazy. Did I just accidentally spoil it for myself?
It'd be a hell of a left turn. I'd be all right with that.
Imagine Scarlett Johansson. They pull the mask off, and it's like, by the way, you weren't the only person in that program, and I'm better than you because now I can learn everything.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along.
Let's write that movie. There you go. Man, with them not confirming who the villain is, there's got to be some sort of turn there with one of these characters or her.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Or if it was just like a surprise character from the Marvel universe that we're just not, I don't know, thinking of. Maybe it's like the Winter Soldier or something. But yeah, I'm laughing because I could totally clone him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But that's interesting. Did we get a look at Taskmaster?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they showed anything about it. I didn't see descriptions of any of like the footage or anything that they showed anybody. So
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so there was an image. Oh, he looks weird.
I imagine he probably just kind of looks like Taskmaster because he wears like a hooded cape and it's a skeleton mask and it's...
Here, I'll send it. There you go. All right, can you see it?
Yeah, let's take a look.
It's very much a, because in the comics he's a skeleton, but in this it's kind of like he's almost wearing like an Iron Man type mask, but it's a skeleton.
He's not a skeleton. He has a skeleton mask.
He's a skeleton, but see, that's what I'm saying. Taskmaster, I never really got into. I didn't know if it was just an actual mask or what.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the first concept art. Yeah, I can't pull it up on Skype here, so I'm gonna have to look it up separate.
Okay, I'll put it on Facebook for you. I don't know. I'm not really fond of that, but that looks just like, I don't know.
I'm okay with that. I mean, it makes more sense to be, it's kind of like a Call of Duty Ghosts sort of mask. Is kind of what it reminds me of, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind that. Yeah.
Should be more skeleton looking, but yes. It's so iconic because that's the only thing I know about him is like his look.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's cool. I'm excited for that. Is this her swan song? Is this the end for her? Man.
Well, there's certainly not going to be a sequel.
Yeah. Well, they could totally do one.
They could. It depends on where this one leaves off at.
Right. They could do a whole TV show with her if they wanted to.
Yeah. Let me rephrase. They're not going to do anything with her post Endgame.
Right. But it's comics, and they can go anywhere with it, I guess.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to.
I think it'd be cool if it was her.
It would be an interesting touch. It genuinely would.
I hope they don't kill Taskmaster. I hate that Marvel keeps killing their villains.
Well, but I mean, look at the villains that they've killed. In first outings. I mean, you had Obadiah Stane. Who cares?
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. They were not. They didn't.
That's true.
They didn't kill like giant villains.
That's true. And Loki, he's dead, but he's not.
Yeah. Good luck figuring this one out.
We got a multiverse Loki running around.
Well, he's not in them. But yes, but no. Like.
He's from the timeline, but he left the timeline before that timeline ended, right?
Sure. So it's
We'll
a
find
different.
out, I guess.
Here's the thing: he's not going to interact with his story is going to take place in a completely different timeline.
Yeah.
So it's not the MCU Loki is dead. But
I hope he does come and interact with Thor in the Thor movie, though. I don't know. Those two are so great together. I really liked them.
Yeah, but
in Ragnarok.
but I'm okay with them not anymore. I'm like I'm okay with that. That's run its course, you know.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Wait, do we have a timeline? Do we have a timeline up here?
Oh, I didn't put one on here, but there was.
Okay, let me pull it up here.
Yeah, go ahead and drag one up because there've been a bunch of them now that have put him in like specific order.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll do this in order here. I'll send this to you.
Okay.
Black Widow is the first.
Right. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it's what Winter Soldier and Falcon, right?
Yes. Fall 2020 on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So,
May 1st is going to be Black Widow.
Yeah.
So
that'll be something.
Yep. So this is going to be right after I assume after Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And them just being pals and fighting up bad guys. And they didn't really give any.
Because it's Zemo.
Oh, it's Zemo. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense for those two characters to team up and take out Zemo.
Yeah, they did confirm that it will be Zemo coming back for that.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that. That works for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Then we got Eternals.
Yeah, the Eternals, November of next year. Interestingly, only two Marvel movies next year.
Well, the thing is, this is an extremely short phase for all the movies and TV shows, and that's the thing. That's I think what's so different right now is that not only do we have the TV, I think it was genius of them to throw up as well the Disney Plus stuff, because now it's like Netflix got fucked before. So did like the Runaways and all these other shows that came out before it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, here's our babies, and we're treating them just as much love as the movies, and it's crucial that you guys also watch these as well to enjoy to know everything going on in the MCU.
Yeah, because it's like these are canon. These are all very important, especially we'll get a little further on down into that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's 2 years, and I think that's perfect, especially because in this short time frame we're getting a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that even like we read comic books and we are niche. This is like super niche, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like it's definitely to show like you need Disney Plus. It is absolutely a ploy to boost Disney Plus numbers and say this is why it's important. Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But we got the entire cast pretty much for Eternals. Richard Madden is in it. Kumail Nanjiani is in it.
Stacked.
I know. Lauren Ridloff, Brian Tyree Henry, Salma Hayek, Leah McHugh, Don Lee, and the biggest get arguably was Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
So having it's all across the board. That's a good cast. Richard Madden from Game of Thrones, Kumail Nanjiani from everything that he's been in lately. I love that Kumail's going to be in a Marvel movie, and in an important Marvel movie.
Oh yeah.
And not just a throwaway character either. You don't bring somebody out on stage who's going to be like that guy standing there who has like 2 lines.
I can't think of a more stacked cast outside of course, like Civil War or something like that.
Right. But in terms of like, here are people that haven't been established yet, like a brand new, like we are casting these characters for the first time kind of cast.
Brian Tyree Henry, from Atlanta, and a million other things now.
Was he in Walking Dead? I seem to remember him from The Walking Dead.
No, he wasn't in Walking Dead.
Okay.
He was in Atlanta. I guess he's in A Quiet Place too.
He was in
he was
Child's
Play.
Oh, was he the cop in Child's Play?
Yes.
Okay.
He plays Miles' dad, I believe, in Spider-Man.
No, for real?
No, he plays someone in Spider-Man. I'm sorry. Spider-Verse.
All right, let's take a look here. He was in White Boy Rick. He was in.
Yes.
Oh, he was in Hotel Artemis. Okay. Yeah, he was his dad.
Oh, okay.
He was his
Gotcha.
dad in Spider-Verse. Yeah, he
Gotcha.
was in
Okay, that's what I
Child's
thought.
Play. He's gonna be in Joker.
Yeah. White
Uh,
Boy Rick, Hotel Artemis. Yeah.
yeah. He's gonna be in Godzilla vs Kong, A Quiet Place 2, The Eternals. Damn, this guy's rolling.
Dude, I'm telling you, everyone from Atlanta is giant stars now.
Yeah.
Giant stars.
He was in This Is Us. Okay, yeah, that's where I think I saw him before. Was This Is Us?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone blew up from that. Zazie Beetz, Kenneth Stanfield or whatever. That whole cast is stacked. Yeah, it's so good. And when I saw him come out, I was like, "Holy shit! This movie is stacked to the gills."
It's gonna be wild, man.
Yeah, and I've said this before a million times on the show. I could care less about the Eternals. There was nothing they did that interested me. But you know what? Now I'm gonna go try and read the Neil Gaiman Eternals or something. I'm gonna go because I think Marvel now or Marvel, what is it called? I have the app.
Unlimited.
Unlimited, yeah. They just sent me an email that was like, "Hey, go read this now on Marvel Unlimited. Here are the top
they
voted
highlighted
Eternal stories."
Yeah, they've highlighted like all of their like if they make an announcement about anything, it's like, oh, and by the way, you want to know who these people are? Read this.
Yeah, because I never found them that fascinating, but then again, I never really gave them a chance.
Yeah, but read if it's like, hey, read this by Neil Gaiman, done. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care, especially comics. God, the Eternals. Right. I have read the Eternals comic that he did, and it's a short run. It's a mini series, and it gives you a backstory. It gives you a primer, and it shows like, oh, this is weird.
It's like, weird. Like, yeah, they're Greek gods, but they're not.
They predate all of it,
right.
But they
they're
don't.
Like mutants of.
Yeah,
weird.
It's bizarre. It was Lauren Ridloff who I remember from seeing in like ads for The Walking Dead, because she was on it last season,
gotcha.
I think.
Yeah,
and I think that's awesome, because she is deaf, and that's
I read that.
Yeah, that's gonna be super cool.
Yep, and she's playing a deaf character, right?
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very excited between that and. Between her and Tessa Thompson coming out, and saying, well, what's Valkyrie's first act as King of Asgard? Well, she needs a queen.
Right.
It's like, awesome. Let's do this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm good for it.
I apparently that was big news at Comic-Con. I thought they hinted at that in Ragnarok.
They did, but I guess that was kind of too subtle for some people.
Oh, okay.
Which I can understand, because when you see like what they're referring to, it's like I get it, because it was a whole like Valkyries were an all-female squadron, right. So it's one of them.
One of those things that I didn't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
And then now when it was news, like, oh, that makes sense. I thought that we already knew that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. That's cool. Oh shoot, the kid from Game of Thrones is in this.
Yeah.
Richard Madden, yeah.
Yeah, he was Rob, right? He was Rob Stark.
He was Rob Stark,
yeah.
Yep.
I love that Don Lee is in this, because Train to Busan is fantastic.
Yeah, there's so many people in this.
Just the more you look at this, it's a really, really great cast.
Yeah.
This could be awesome. See, like, as soon as I saw that coming out on stage, I was like, I'm now very looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we? What's next on the list here in the timeline? Shang-Chi, right?
Let me get back to the list here.
Yeah, Shang-Chi,
Eternals.
February 12th, 2021.
And the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I'm excited. Here comes the Mandarin, baby.
Yes.
And and they're going to address it, and I don't care. This will shut up everybody who was like, they screwed Iron Man through blah, blah, blah. Just shut up. It was funny. It was enjoyable.
I thought it was a fantastic twist.
Yeah. I loved it. And it left the door open for this, where it's like, okay, now we get a chance to really do the Mandarin.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm here for it. And Tony Leung, come on.
Yeah.
Like, hell yes. I didn't immediately offhand recognize who it was that they cast as help me out here, as Shang-Chi. I did not
I'm bad at pronouncing names, as you
Yeah.
know. Simu
Simu he's Canadian. I did not know that.
Yeah.
And he literally has done very little.
Yeah, I saw an interesting thing. I think he retweeted himself, tweeting years ago, like, "Hey Marvel, why don't we do a Shang-Chi movie? It's about time we introduce a little Asian blood into it or whatever."
Yeah,
and this was Avengers.
And this was from like 5-6 years ago. It was from way on back.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think
no, he hasn't been that much, like the Taken TV show. And hey, man, as long as he's a good actor, who cares?
I'm all for it. His biggest thing was a show called Blood and Water, which is a Canadian crime drama.
Okay.
And it's very much a it was made for a Chinese Canadian audience.
Okay.
So it mixes languages, it mixes cultures. I've never heard of it at all.
Nope.
But awesome. I'm glad that that they didn't look for a name. They looked for talent. And very cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Legend of the Ten Rings. That's man, that's just fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Spring 2021, we get WandaVision on Disney Plus,
which is gonna tie in.
I'm so excited. I love that they talked about like, oh, by the way, you're gonna need to watch this because not only is this directly going to tie into the Doctor Strange sequel, but Scarlet Witch is gonna be in it.
Yes.
And the title, I love the title. It's not the actual title, but I love it all the same.
What's the what do you mean?
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
What do you mean it's not the actual title?
Nah, this is gonna be House of M.
You think it's gonna be House of M?
I will guarantee you, because between what weirdness happens in WandaVision, she's gonna see something that I think she gets a glimpse at Earth 616, the actual Earth 616, and sees a slimmer of just like that glimpse of herself in that timeline when she does No More Mutants. And I think it sets off something in MCU Wanda to figure something out. And I think something's going to happen in Doctor Strange involving her that's going to be what actually is the seed for introducing mutants into the MCU.
Oh, see, that would be awesome.
I think that's where it's going to be.
That would be fantastic.
It's going to be like an inverted No More Mutants. It's going to be like, why don't we have this? This is where that's going to happen, or the first piece of this is going to happen.
It would make sense. They kind of did this with Civil War instead of it being, what was this, the Something of Serpents?
Yeah.
When Captain America was announced, it was called Captain America and the Serpent Society.
Yeah.
And then they changed it later to Civil War, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I totally could see them doing that. Yeah, because I was thinking Multiverse of Madness. That's just such an awesome concept.
I love it. Like, I love the idea, and I love how they've talked about, like, it's gonna be a horror movie. I mean, it's funny, but it's also gonna be a horror movie. I'm like, okay, so it's going to be a Doctor Strange movie. I'm in, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's like, yeah, he's sarcastic and he's a little flippant in like, oh yeah, this is just a multi-dimensional demon that's trying to eat your soul over the course of 1,000 years. I use them as garnish. Like, it's just bizarre humor, and if they start going down that road, I'm beyond in. Again, if I remember correctly, Jason Aaron.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yep.
That's I did read some of his. I finally did read some of his Doctor Strange run, and it's just like this is bizarre. It's phenomenal, but it's so bizarre because it has to be.
Yeah. Oh, I love that he's constantly eating like.
Yeah.
What is he eating again? He's like demons or what? What is he eating?
I don't know. It's
gross shit.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way he can do the magic.
Yeah.
It's good. It's so good. Now, well, hold on. Let's back up just a second. WandaVision 2021.
Yeah.
I'm reading here in its eerie 1950s aesthetic. The series aims to be an adaptation of the acclaimed comic book series Vision by Tom King. They're doing the Vision story, from Tom King.
Are they really? Wow.
That's awesome. That's such a good. But obviously with Wanda in it, so it'll be a little bit different. How are they do? Wait, isn't he dead?
Well, but here's the thing. They did talk about, what made the Vision. And I love the theory of like when Shuri had him in Wakanda, it stored all the pieces of his personality that weren't the Infinity Stone.
That's true. She probably tries to this is Vision again, and then something eerie goes wrong.
Something's just wrong.
Perfect. Yeah.
But then how the hell does that tie into Doctor Strange?
Think about it. Not only does she lose him, but if something crazy goes happen in WandaVision, then she is probably even more fucked in the head. And now she's probably dealing with the fact that everyone thinks she is bad or evil or whatever.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. This all sounds like it's heading towards... Well, because if you think about it, holy crap, if you think about it, House of M is all about her making up that she has children for years. And then finally, Professor X and Magneto come to her and say, Wanda, we're sitting you down. By the way, the children you think you've had, they're not real. And then she goes crazy and says no more mutants.
Yeah.
So what if WandaVision is her family in the way she believes it should be, and something goes fucking wrong and crazy? So they're basically mixing the Vision story and the what led up to House of M, and she just loses her mind. She just everything just starts going crazy, and she goes mad. Hint the multiverse of madness.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
That's you're absolutely right. That's probably how they're going to lead into that, which is to be able to sneak into the X-Men stuff like that. People are going to be blown away because most people don't know that. I mean, people who read the comics, but most people who see the MCU movies, they don't read the comics. They don't know anything about this. They rely on nerds like us to be like, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool. That'll be really cool. And it just says spring 2021, so we'll see.
Yeah.
You're probably right. They're probably keeping all of that a secret so it can lead directly into Doctor Strange.
That'll be fun. That will be fun. Doctor Strange, of course, May 7th, 2021. Following which we get the Loki series.
Yeah.
Which as we all kind of guessed, will focus around Avengers era Loki and the Space Stone and whatever hijinks he gets up to. And then the What If series comes after that, summer 2021. Which the first season of What If is apparently only going to cover events during the Infinity Saga. That's why it's all actors and characters from those movies reprising their roles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the fact that they've gotten, damn near everybody to say, yeah, in some way, shape, or form, they're going to come back
That's crazy.
to reprise this. And I'm pretty sure this was animated. I think this was announced to be animated. It's like everybody's going to voice some different version of themselves. And it's fun. Like, these are just going to be, like, spin-off stories. They're all going to be one-off little things.
Yeah.
So
that's so cool.
I love it. I think it's great.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm definitely excited for that. I was mildly excited for Hawkeye for fall 2021 because I was like, okay, it's Hawkeye, and he's going to wind up mentoring Kate Bishop, and that's going to be like a passing of the torch, and then we'll see her down the road. And I was like, that's fine, whatever. And then I saw they used the logo from the Matt Fraction run, and I was like, all right, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah, that, that man, that's a run. That's one of those runs that you can tell people, like, if you don't read like people that are like, hey, I don't read comics, where do I start? Read his run of Hawkeye.
Yeah.
You don't need to know anything else. You can watch the movies, and that's what you know of Hawkeye. That's it.
Yep. And then you're good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then after that, we get Thor, Love and Thunder, which we talked about. But God, I love that logo. I love that logo so much.
Oh, yeah. It's so good.
Oh, it's fantastic. It does. It looks like an Iron Maiden album cover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It looks like the He-Man. It just looks so 80s.
I love like everything has their great style. Black Widow's logo has like a very Mission Impossible kind of feel to it. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier has like a Tom Clancy looking kind of feel to it. Eternals has that kind of very spaced out font that sort of like you look at that and you go, ah, yes, okay, this is definitely a big concept-ish kind of movie.
Kind of reminds me of Guardians almost a little bit. Like, that's like the MCU and space stuff.
Yeah. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has, kind of like a very kung fu movie sort of vibe when you look at it. WandaVision has a very tech vibe to it.
Very 50s.
Yes.
That's like when it says 1950s aesthetic, I'm like, yes, they're doing Vision.
Yeah, I could see that. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness has, again, it has that Doctor Strange kind of vibe to it. The Loki logo is all different pieces of him, and it's kind of all over the place, so I like that. What If is kind of your basic Marvel catch-all logo, which makes sense. And then, we talked about Hawkeye and we talked about Thor, but I just love the aesthetics for each of these logos. They're great. They're clearly defined. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Loki one, that's kind of all over the place for me.
Yeah, but I think that's the point.
Do you think it's like a Oh, yeah, he is a multiverse Loki. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So very excited about all this. And then, of course, Feige being Feige was like, and we didn't have time to talk about Black Panther 2 or Captain Marvel 2 or Guardians 3 or Fantastic Four, and no time for mutants, none of that. None of which, by the way, will be in Phase 4. This roadmap that we've talked about, this is Phase 4. They said, like, nope, 10 projects in the works, and here they are. This is Phase 4. So
we didn't talk about the final one?
No, we didn't, because they brought everybody else out, and like everybody put on hats, and most of them seem to have like Black Widow hats on, and so they brought on Mahershala Ali. I was like, well, damn, okay, he was in Luke Cage, so are we gonna get some more Luke Cage news? No, he brought his own hat. It was a freaking Blade hat.
Yeah,
because Mahershala Ali, having apparently seen the mock-up that Boss Logic did back when Alita came out, was like, yeah, I want to do this whole Blade thing.
Right. Yeah.
It was great. Because they did. And they asked Wesley Snipes, I think today or yesterday, they're like, what do you think? And he was like, it's all good.
Yep.
It's like, all right, cool. But it's interesting. And they've, it's weird to see, like, everybody saying, like, oh, they're doing a Blade movie. That's going to be cool. And it's definitely going to be Phase 5. Whatever it is. Because Marvel did not say it was a movie. They didn't say anything like that. They were just like, Mahershala Ali is going to be Blade. And they left it at that. They put up a logo, and they left it at that.
Right.
Now, the smart money says movie. But I just love that they've just kind of left it there.
Yeah, I almost would rather it as a TV show. That kind of story with the vampires and stuff like that, I'd rather see an 8-hour fucking... honestly, any of these, I'd rather a TV show than a movie these days, because that's just where I'm at with, like, I want to ingest a lot more of it. It could obviously totally be a movie. Man, I would love that to be a TV show.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm expecting... I was going to say, I'm like, it's Mahershala Ali, it's going to be a movie. But, I mean, he was on Luke Cage. He was in True Detective. He was in season 3.
Oh, yeah, he's True Detective.
So, I mean, he
could go either way.
He's done this kind of, like, short format, like, not quite miniseries style before. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to find out. I'm betting movie, but it could go either way.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. It's whatever it is. It's going to be fun as hell.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
But that pretty much covers all of Marvel stuff from Comic-Con.
Yep. And like you said at the end, they teased. They were like, "Yeah, we didn't have time to talk about Fantastic Four, Marvel, or mutants, but they're coming." So
yeah.
This is only 2 years. This is nothing. I feel like in 2 years from now, we're going to be like, holy shit, it's 2022, 21 already. But yeah, this is going to come super fast with all of these projects, especially the TV stuff.
Yeah.
Man, we're getting spoiled. We have all this, and we have the Star Wars stuff to look forward to. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like right now we are in between Game of Thrones and the end of this year. It's kind of that. We're just waiting.
Yeah.
Because then we're gonna get Witcher. We're gonna get the Star Wars. We're gonna get all the Marvel stuff. We're gonna get Lord of the Rings in a few years. It's all coming. Oh man, it's gonna be like a tidal wave of this kind of stuff, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Oh, man, but whew, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm curious how they're going to tie everything in. I'm curious. We still don't really know we don't know where Marvel and Sony lands right now. I imagine we'll find out sometime this year about the contract with Spider-Man.
Here's the thing. I know that there's all these details, and people have always said, if this partnership continues, blah 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 blah. Look, Sony and Marvel making Spider-Man movies together has kicked open the door for Sony to do so much other crap. If they don't renew this deal, they're all stupid and they deserve to hang. It's just
they do, and at that point, I wouldn't care if Disney bought them.
Yeah, it's dumb. It would be absolutely dumb for them not. Yep. Now, obviously, if it's a bad deal, fine, I get that, but don't.
But it's not. They basically just said, "Hey, we're gonna make your character, pretty much the not sidekick, but the guy who's inheriting the biggest role we have in this entire franchise."
Yeah. In
Sony would be stupid to not continue. And plus, he's been, I think, in more Spider-Man movies than any of the other Spider-Mans. And he's anyone I talk to, they're like, that's my Peter Parker now.
Yeah.
Even if they grew up with the one from in the 90s or the ones from a few years ago, this is their Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And it would be so stupid to not continue the deal. Especially when Sony has, 007? That's their other big franchise.
Yeah, now that they have the rights to Bond, it's like, you guys can come on, you guys can work this out. I am sure that and especially like with Venom, where it was like, we'll allow you to make this movie, although I know they own the rights to it, but I'm sure if Marvel wanted to raise a fuss, they would have.
Yeah. Especially
since they're owned by Disney. If Disney had raised any particular issues. And then you look at the difference. Look at the difference between Spider-Man, which was made in conjunction with Marvel, and Venom, which they did on their own. That tells you all you need to know about the state of how Sony can't make these Spider-Man movies on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I don't know. We'll see. And it was also confirmed that Thor 4 will take place chronologically before Guardians 3. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. Next couple of years.
That's the other thing. They were like, we didn't even get to talk about Guardians 3, which will be after, like you said, Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
We didn't get to talk about Black Panther 2. Captain Marvel 2. That's all coming.
Yeah.
I imagine they'll talk about those maybe at the Disney conference or whatever.
They may. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sure they're saving something for that.
Oh, I'm sure they're saving something for sure.
Yeah, Marvel related,
but I doubt much, really.
Yeah. Maybe not even this year, but
they may
I'm sure we'll get those announcements probably in the next few years.
Yeah, I imagine they'll drop a trailer for something this year.
Yeah, this is two movies each year, right?
Well, no, it's two next year and 3 in 2021.
That's more than enough.
Yeah, it's because it's just Black Widow and Shang-Chi next year, and then that's right, and then it's Eternals, Strange, help me out here, Thor 2020.
Thor, that's it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how that worked.
And Blade's TV show, movie, we're not sure yet, but he'll be in there.
Yeah.
And I hope they mix and match. I hope these characters don't just stay in their own movies. I hope we get a surprise in some of them, which I'm sure they'll do. They got the Eternals. They've people don't realize it, but they've talked about that stuff in all these movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
With the Celestials and stuff like that. And I imagine Ego is. They probably make a joke where he thought he was a Celestial. He really wasn't. That was his ego talking. I'm sure all of this kind of ties into that.
Yeah.
Because he was a Celestial in that movie. They said he was a Celestial, right?
Yeah. Well,
I
and
bet he wasn't.
I mean, like, everything that he created and all that, so, I mean, I don't know.
I would love that if they're like, it was his ego talking. He's not really one of us, or he wasn't created.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just, I love that it's so different. It's not Captain America 4. We're getting Thor, but that's my favorite out of those three. It's not Iron Man, whatever. It's not the same things. 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like these are so fresh. Yeah. Doctor Strange even feels fresh, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we've barely scratched the surface with Doctor Strange.
Right. And Black Widow, we've got her in movies, but we haven't gotten a single standalone thing from her. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for this. Yeah, where were we, man? Whew.
Talking about Bond, in an interesting bit of news, Lashana Lynch, who was in Captain Marvel, is in Bond 25 going to play 007. And I love the way they phrased that.
Right, because they're not making her Bond, they're making her, like, somehow she gets the code, right? Yeah.
So that's, I like how they're differentiating that now. And I also like the idea behind that, you know?
I hate that it spoils it.
I'm okay with that. I don't mind.
That would be a cool twist in the movie.
Yeah. But, you know.
But I didn't see the last 007. I don't even know what they're doing.
I don't know. It kind of left everything in a really strange sort of place, I thought. Because they, like, everything, it reset the status quo, kind of.
I didn't see the one with, isn't Batista in one of them?
I don't know. Yes, but I can't remember which one. I don't think he was in the last one. I don't think he was in that one. I don't know, man. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've seen any of the Craig Bonds, really.
Yeah, what were the names? Oh, Inspector. Yeah. That's the one I don't think I saw. I think I saw Skyfall. I thought Skyfall was really cool.
Yeah, Inspector was the recent one. Was the last one.
Yeah, I did not see Spectre.
Okay, it was good. I mean, it was really good.
Yeah.
But
or maybe I did see Skyfall. I don't know. Spectre. I don't know. I need to go back and rewatch it. But that's cool.
Yeah. Filming has started on Bill and Ted 3.
Yep.
Very excited. Very happy about that.
Yeah.
There is talk of another Power Rangers movie, but another reboot, not a sequel to the reboot. Which came out 2 years ago.
That's stupid.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate because I like the crew that they assembled.
I did too. Well, I mean, they're kind of stars now, right? Some of them.
Yeah, Naomi Scott in particular.
Yeah. I hope they don't do we're kids in high school and let's find each other. Do that in the first few minutes, or just make them already be Power Rangers.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with like they're already Rangers and
like Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like I'm totally good with that. I would like if you're gonna reboot it, then you're gonna have to go. I think you almost go for it. What you got?
Reboot the series, make it a Netflix show, make it a TV show, but like actual like money thrown at it.
Yeah, the whole point of the show is that it doesn't though. That's part of its charm.
I don't know, but make it a show. I'd rather a show than a movie. But
Then just watch the one that's on whatever the hell network it's still on.
Is it still going?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the one. I don't know.
And kids watch it, man. It draws ratings and it sells merchandise. And it's
I guess that's what I mean. I don't want it to be young kid show. I want it to be a little bit older, like the movies are. I don't know.
Oh well. Not gonna happen. They're not gonna change that. So.
Oh yeah, no. I'm trying to look at if there's a new series, and oh my god, how many?
There was one after Lost. No, shoot.
Man, their outfits don't even look like Power Ranger outfits anymore. It just looks like they're wearing plastic.
They got away from that years and years ago.
No, but I mean, like, this. Oh, God, I'm just gonna send it to you. This doesn't even. It just looks like a Halloween costume that not even like an expensive Halloween costume, but like one that you would find, and you're like, well, that one is $20 cheaper than all the other ones, so we're gonna get that one. That's what my parents did.
Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna get the cheaper one. So there you go. I sent it to you. That is the current Power Ranger.
Yeah. Dave.
Is that a Pikachu, a Charmander, a Squirtle mask?
Sure, why not?
It doesn't, like, at least the other ones looked like I don't know, it looked like armor, kind of.
Yeah, it depends on how far back you go.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sure kids love it. You're right. That looks like something kids would love.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry.
But no, that's a thing that's been going, and it's been, like I said, they've done a different iteration every year since the end of the original story, which actually ran through Galaxy. Shit, I can't remember. But after that, it was just a different one every year.
Yeah.
So it's, it's just an excuse to make merchandise, and it sells.
Mm-hmm.
So, why change it? If I'll tell you, what you're looking for is the comic book. That's what you want.
Yeah. Oh man, did you see what they're doing in the new Ninja Turtles comic?
Yeah, they're gonna have a new turtle. They're gonna, they're going the Venus route without it being awful.
Yeah, it looks cool. I think they already did it. Like, she's already in it.
That's awesome. Good for them.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for it. Why not?
Oh,
I haven't read any of the current run of Turtles because it's dark.
Oh yeah.
Especially, like, it's not a this is not your 80s cartoon Turtles.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's where you want to go for, like, if you want something like that, go to the comics. Turtles is doing it, Power Rangers is doing it. Those are the kinds of stories you're looking for sure.
Oh yeah.
The Saw reboot that Chris Rock pitched and got greenlit has found its co-star, Samuel L. Jackson. I'm not kidding. The next Saw movie will star Chris Rock and Sam Jackson. No, this is not an Onion article. This is what's actually going to happen.
Okay.
In news of horror movies that people are actually excited about, they've announced the last two Halloween movies. And I say last two because I feel like it's the last of the Laurie Strode Michael Myers saga. Halloween Kills comes out October of next year. Halloween Ends comes out October 2021. And they're being shot back to back.
Okay.
I think now. So I'm good with that. Like, let's, that way it's like this, at least this part of the story, if nothing else, can be done.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm good with that. The sequel relaunch, whatever you want to call it, that they did last year was fantastic. I loved it. Absolutely adored it. So I'm excited to see these last two for sure. They also talked about Mortal Kombat will have fatalities and it will be rated R, which is fantastic. I was in here's a fun story. I was in Walmart looking for Shrek for a reason that I'll tell you once we're done recording. But digging through the Blu-ray bin, like the bargain bin at a Walmart, I found the 90s Mortal Kombat movie for like $5.
Oh, there you go.
On Blu-ray, and I was like, oh hell yeah. Yeah, that's mine. That's absolutely mine.
Yeah, you can't screw this movie up. You just do that. You put them on an island, which I guess Australia's an island, and you just have them in a tournament, and you get fatalities, and you can't fuck this up.
No, just let it be what it is. You know?
Don't try and make it I know everyone loved it when they were like, it's a gritty cop drama on YouTube. And I was like, no, that's not what I want from Mortal Kombat.
No, like, I mean, that worked because that was such a wildly different interpretation.
I know everyone loved it. I'm not trying to shit on it, but
no.
I was like, no, I want Scorpion. I want Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
I don't.
That's the thing of like, it's so different, which I was fine. Like, I was fine with. I was like, okay, they went their own way with this, cool. But it's if you're gonna do this and say we're gonna do Mortal Kombat, then do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like,
yeah, just do it.
And the writer for the Mortal Kombat movie is also working on a movie for New Line Cinema. It's the Space Invaders adaptation that has been in development hell since before God was born. It's been there forever, and there's a reason it's been there forever. Because why? Why did nobody learn anything from Pixels and the Emoji Movie? Apparently not.
Yep. Yeah.
In slightly more positive news, Gary Whitta, who wrote Rogue One, is doing a sequel to The Last Starfighter. And I think we touched on this last year a little bit because he tweeted out some concept art. And he's like, I'm not allowed to talk about this, but boy, don't these ships look familiar. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, these kind of look like they're from The Last Starfighter. And then nothing was ever said about it for like a year. And now he's like, hey, I can talk about this now.
Yes, man. If you want a good Twitter or Twitch channel to follow, Gary Whitta's the guy.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, he does Gary. So if you don't know, Gary Whitta is also on Kind of Funny on Wednesdays. He does Gary Whitta Wednesdays. And he was talking about on his Twitch channel, because they have like Twitch IRL or whatever. So basically, you can get on there and just talk and have a cup of coffee and whatever. And his channel is mostly just people asking him advice about screenwriting and the movies that he's done, and so most of his things are not him playing games, but it's him just sitting down and having a chat. And he's very British, so if you're into that, he's very sarcastic. But no, it's really cool to see him kind of break down his movies. And what he did is Book of Eli just got on Netflix, and of course he wrote Book of Eli. It's one of his biggest hits. And so he did. I didn't watch it. I want to watch it, but from what I understand, he did a watch along where you and him both hit play, and what he does is he puts up the script of the movie, and that plays on his screen while he talks over it while the movie's playing, so he can give you commentary on his movie while you're reading the script.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so Gary Whitta, it's literally his name on Twitch. And yeah, I find him really cool. He's an awesome dude. He was a game journalist before he became a writer, so he gets along very well with Greg and all those guys. And
I'm sure.
He has some he has some interesting takes, and I'm right there with him with his takes, where he'll talk about how ridiculous sometimes the Switch is, but how much it's his favorite system in the house, hands down. Because he gets to play with his kid, and just how all these games are on it, and he's got to get his kid the new Switch Lite, and he's very down to earth. Nice. and just super cool.
Yeah, and kids probably getting mad the Joy-Cons drift.
Oh yeah, and I saw today that Nintendo they're getting sued, and so I think that's what jump started them to go, by the way, if you have any Joy-Con controller, even if it's out of warranty, send it to us and we'll fix it for free.
Yeah.
Which, good luck. That's going to take 6 months.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
I wonder how long that's really going to take. If it's worth it, just like, fuck it, I'm just going to go buy a new one.
I've been lucky. I don't think I've had any problems with mine.
By the way, if you are in the market for a Switch, anyone listening, if you're in the market for a Switch, get the red box. They're the new models. These new models have a battery life much greater than the older models.
That's right.
Because of the new chip. Yeah. I think it was like three up to with the old Switch you could get like 3 hours if you're playing Zelda. With the new one you can get like 6 or something. It's like double the amount because the way that the chip handles the battery. So it's a big difference if you don't have a Switch and you're looking to buy a new one. Get the red box ones. I think they come out in August. I'm not sure, but if you're looking to get a Switch, hold off. If you see the store, the ones with the white box are the older ones. The ones with the red box are the newer ones. So definitely get that if you're in the market for it.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, and I think the light Switch one comes out in like a few weeks.
Yeah, it's not much farther. We'll get down to that here once we skip through TV news.
Oh, yeah.
We got one last piece of movie news. Jesus Rolls, the Big Lebowski spinoff, is coming early next year. The Coen brothers are not involved in this, except to have given it their blessing. They're like, hey, good, Totoro wants to do a spinoff, go for it, have fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's gonna be a thing.
Yep.
Good for them. And yeah, we got some TV trailers this week. All of them were good. All of them were very good. We'll start with the Witcher trailer, which looks fantastic. I'm excited. I can't wait. I've read the first 2 books in the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
And they are tremendous. They are fantastic, and the end of the second one gets dark and bleak as hell, and I loved it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those books are dark.
Yeah, there's a lightheartedness, especially to The Last Wish. There's still kind of a lightheartedness to it throughout the most part, and you get some of that in the Sword of Destiny too. But by about 2/3 of the way through Sword of Destiny, it gets real intense real fast. And it does. It dips into it because it's a fantasy world, and there are, like, every town has a king or a baron or something, and there's all the little, it's kind of Game of Thrones-ish without being as brutally horrifying.
Right.
It's a standard fantasy world. What do you want?
Right.
But so, not everybody is very well off. Towns are towns and all that stuff. But
right,
by like the last third of Sword of Destiny, it gets dark. Like, it gets legitimately dark. And so I'm going into, I forget what the next one's called.
There's Last Wish.
Yeah, that's the first one.
There's Sword of Destiny.
That's the second one.
I think the third one, does it have an English name?
Yes, yeah, they've all been translated by now.
Something ends, something begins, but it's all...
Yeah, look up, just, if you want to Google something, just Google, like, the Witcher book chronology or something, and it'll give you, like, a decent straight list. I think Blood of Elves is the third one. I think that's right.
Okay.
And that's the one I'm just starting now.
Okay,
but it's...
so... Yes, so Last Wish, Sword of Destiny, Blood of Elves. Okay, it's the beginning of the novels. That's okay, so that's why, because the one I was reading, I guess it was never translated. The one between Sword of Destiny and Blood of Elves, but I think it's not like a real book.
And there is one that was, like, just recently translated that takes place, like, between some of the stories of The Last Wish. And it's one of those things that's like, it's cool if you want to read it, but it doesn't... It's not meat for the story, really.
Right. Time of Contempt, Baptism of Fire, the Tower of Shallows. These are a lot of the mission names in The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Lady of the Lake.
Yeah, and I think that one's the last one.
Okay, cool.
But I just finished Sword of Destiny, like, the other day, and I was like, God damn, it goes real dark.
Yeah. My only complaint about the Witcher trailer was that it didn't tell much of the story.
I'm alright with that.
Well, we're alright with that, but I imagine, like, grandpa and uncle and sister and cousin who've never heard of the Witcher, never played it, are like, what did I just see?
That's a fair point, so I'm gonna look at this as more of a teaser than a trailer.
Bingo, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so for us it was like, yes, we know who that is, we know Yennefer, we know all, like, that stuff rings with us. That was my only concern. But then again, this was the Comic-Con audience, so they know this audience is like, hey, they know this guy, they played hours and hours of the game. So yeah, I do hope that they maybe a trailer or so before it comes out, and it's like, here's kind of the beats we're going at, because from what I understand, what I read, there's no bad guy in this. It's just him being a Witcher.
Yeah,
which is cool. I'm totally down for that.
Which makes sense.
Right. There's no, like, there's no Vader or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Yep. So I can't wait. I hope this comes out at the end. It's got to come out at the end of the year. They're showing stuff like this so early.
Yeah.
We got man. I need to read those two. I'm in the middle of a gigantic book right now, The Way of Kings.
Uh,
I must have read a chapter. I've never read and listened to Audible as many times as I have now. My problem is I do it at night, right before I go to sleep. I fall asleep every time.
So how many times have you reread or re-listened to the same chapter?
20 maybe.
Yeah.
And the problem is this is the part in the book where, up until now, there was really, you get the point of view of one or two characters. Now it's a whole new group of characters, and all their names are super fantasy. So it's like, fuck, who's Jogailas of the tribe of the... oh man.
Yeah.
It's a little bit losing me, but after the 20th time, I'm like, oh, this is fascinating.
It's fair enough.
I figure out what's going on, and it's good.
It's what's really great about the Witcher books is they are a succession of short stories.
Yeah.
They're connected. They're all connected, so it's technically a novel, but the way it's structured is a collection of short stories. It's fantastic.
Okay.
And when you get dug into those,
I need to.
You will tear through them. I know this because they're so good. And they don't worry about world building. You don't get into a lot of whys. Why are there monsters? There are. Oh, okay. Like that's it. You know.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't delve into a lot of this is the politics of the world and this kingdom and that kingdom, because it doesn't really matter to Geralt.
Right.
It doesn't concern him. Who cares?
Right.
Which is part of why that last chunk of Sword of Destiny just swings. And it's it's great because then
so it's like the opposite of Game of Thrones.
Yes, exactly.
Where that is just nothing but world building.
Yeah, it's very much the opposite. It's like, here's Geralt. He's a Witcher. He kills monsters. Okay,
right.
These are his adventures.
Yeah, I need to pick that up. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to complain. It's totally my fault with this Way of Kings, because this is a fantastic book and I'm hooked. But I know what I'm doing wrong, and I'm reading the wrong chapter at 2 a.m. or trying Audible, and I'm just passing out. And then I'll wake up, and it's like hours later, and I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh shit, what's going on? This is super interesting. How did the characters get here? And like, I'm like, fuck, I'm spoiling it for myself, and I'll stop it. But yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I need that's on my list. I have The Last Wish on Audible. That was one of them I picked up. Oh, by the way, the Thrawn, the third book.
Yes, Treason dropped. Yes, I saw that. Yeah. I can't. I want that. I want that so bad.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that on Audible, so I have that. So that's on the list. The problem is, I need a new phone. I can literally only keep one Audible book on here at a time, and I have all these in my backlog. I hate it. I need a new phone so bad. I literally living in the dark ages with this thing. The problem is with my phone is the battery is completely drained.
Oh yeah, so you have to keep it plugged in, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to spend a couple $100 to get a phone right now when I basically get a free phone in a couple months.
Yeah.
So I'm just
wait it out.
Riding till the wheels fall off.
There you go.
Yeah, but in the meantime, it sucks because it's like I got literally like just a few apps and one audiobook on it. And I refuse to delete my text messages, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
get a cheap Kindle, like $50.
That's true. And
especially with Audible and with Amazon, that's all you need. Something, and even the ones like without ads, you know, you don't have to go hardcore with them. It's like $60-$70.
But see, that's already halfway to an iPad.
That's true.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I thought about getting I can't find my Echo Dot. I have an Amazon Echo Dot, and I thought I could just listen to I could just say, not Siri. What is it?
Well, yeah,
Echo.
we'll not actually
Alexa.
do that so that people's stuff don't start up on them.
Right.
But yeah,
I could say the word and then go play whatever, because apparently it plays it has your entire, as long as it's attached to your account, it has your entire Audible library there.
Yeah.
Which is, I just can't find it. It's somewhere in this mess.
If it was turned on, all you'd have to do is just walk around the house calling the name all the time. Eventually, it'd come on.
That's true. No, I unplug, and it's so tiny. I put it somewhere. It's like a hockey puck.
Yeah.
I got it one year. It was like Christmas time. I bought like everyone on it because it was like $20, and I was like, "This is normally like $70."
There you go. Yeah.
So now the government's listening to everybody now that I love. So
they've been doing that for
it's
years
okay. They
anyway.
have iPhones as well, so
Yeah. they've got everything. It doesn't
they
matter.
all did the old person app, so
Yes.
yeah.
No, that was different government, my friend. That was over there.
Yes.
That was we have your faces. They have recordings, but we have your faces.
Right, and our president. But anyway, we'll lay off that. But anyway,
one of the only people in the world you could put the old age face app filter on and they'd look better.
Right, exactly.
But Star Trek Picard got a new trailer.
Oh man, does that look good?
Oh, it looks amazing. Oh, I'm so excited.
It's one of those, like, we don't deserve this.
Nah.
Like, when this was announced, I was like, they don't have to do that. That is something that is dreams. Like, that's something that, like, never in a million years I thought that, Sir Patrick Stewart would be like, let's do a Star Trek show again.
Yeah.
Maybe a movie, and then it looks so good.
And we're gonna have Data back. We're gonna have we've got 7 of 9 back. We're gonna have Riker back. This is gonna be about the Borg because of course it is. It has to be. Like, that is the quintessential, like, if of everything in the entire known and unknown cosmos, why do you need Picard back? Because it's the Borg.
Yep.
Nobody can beat them like he can.
Right.
If anybody else can really at all, it has to be him. And maybe they're not even the villain this time.
Yeah.
It was weird because they just showed them, and it's like, well, they have to be the villain. Do they? Klingons were always the villain, and then look how that turned out. So,
right.
I don't know. I'm excited. I'm very excited for this. This made me want to jump into season 2 of Discovery and be like, I need to watch more of this.
Yeah.
Because CBS is killing it with Star Trek. They are.
They really are.
And the shorts, the little, like, one-off episodes, I can't remember what they're called.
I haven't seen those.
But they're amazing. Like, I think one of them either won or was nominated for a Pulitzer.
Oh, really?
For its writing. It's nuts.
Oh, wow.
It was the one that Aldous Hodge was in. Give me a second. I'll find it. 'Cause he was in Leverage. He was in Straight Outta Compton. He's been on all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay.
It was. Give me 2 seconds and I'll find it. Television, Star Trek. I think it's like Short Treks or something like that. Yeah, it's called Short Treks. And it was an episode. I think it was the episode he was in. It was called Callisto.
Oh, okay.
It's nuts. It's wild.
Yeah.
But they've done a couple of these. The Vulcan Hello, Battle of the Binary Stars. There've been 6, 7? No, they're up to. Good God, they're up to 15, 17. Nope. Hang on. What's today? Wow. Okay, so they've done like 3 seasons of these little things.
Oh yeah.
That's
Did I
crazy.
ever talk about it on the show that I had the Spock reveal spoiled for me for Discovery?
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, my friend got the role. It hasn't been announced yet. I was like, oh, are you kidding? I was like, I had no idea.
Crazy.
Or maybe it was his friend's name wasn't announced yet. I don't know. But he was like, yeah. I thought it was exciting.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So we got that trailer. We also got the Watchmen trailer.
Yes, now it's starting to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When he picks up the mask at the end, I'm like, okay, so this is a continuation.
Yeah.
Yes, which is what we thought it was, but then they said, like, it's a remix, and it makes sense that it's not exactly, but it is, but it's, oh, man, it's,
yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, it's, oh, man. Yeah, especially when you pick up the mask. It's like, okay, so this is taking off right after the comics, or years later after the comics. Oh, man, I can't wait. That looks good. But yeah, man, these 3 shows, that's what I was saying, like, we're in that lull right now between Game of Thrones and where really everything's going to start taking off.
Yeah.
Fantasy and all this other stuff. It's good time to be alive.
On the flip side of things, we talked about all the Marvel stuff.
Yep.
On the flip side of things, HBO Max is going to be a thing now.
Yep.
HBO Max is, of course, Warner Media saying we want to have our own service because right now they have 3 and only one of them is actually profitable. So let's take that one and use that branding to cover all of everything that we own.
Now, is it going to have the DC stuff?
It's, yeah, some of it. Some of it has actually been confirmed for HBO Max. Some of it has not. And it's because it's Warner Brothers, and they have no idea what the hell they're doing with DC stuff. Because
how much is this going to be? Because Disney is, what, $6-7?
It was it 7 or 8? I think. I don't think it's more than 8. I think it was $7.99.
Right, and it's cheaper if you get like the year's worth, right?
Yeah, and then
that's
it's like
what I'm totally doing.
And then it's like $70 for the year or something.
Right. What is it? They can't come out and say this is $20.
No, they can't because nobody will pay for it. Like nobody is going to pay $20 just to watch. Although,
but here's the thing: HBO is already $15.
Yeah, that's true, and it is going to be HBO content. It's everything. So they could, in theory, actually, because if they're just taking HBO and then they're adding, everything from. I mean,
Netflix is around 15. HBO is around 15.
Yeah.
That's what made Disney so like, oh, that makes sense. It's $6, $7.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Literally, I could have Netflix, Disney, maybe this, and that's it. That's so much.
Yeah.
But yeah. What are some of the shows coming on it?
Friends is the big one. That's where you're going to find Friends now. It's like NBC's streaming app next year? Year after? It's going to be The Office.
Right.
I know you and I are just kind of like, okay, fine. We look at things the other way.
Right.
But, I mean, people pay for it. People pay for it in a heartbeat. But, things like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all the CW shows, that's where they're all going to go. So, obviously,
that's a big get.
Yeah, because that means they're going to come off Netflix then.
I want to catch up on Arrow before it ends.
I always say that, but I'm not gonna wind up doing that until after it's over. Especially with all the Crisis stuff. Where
I heard that in the Crisis show, in the Crisis spinoffs,
everybody.
What's his name?
Yep. And yep again. Like everybody's coming back. Linda Carter is coming back as Wonder Woman. Brandon Routh as Superman is coming back. Tom Welling as Superman is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were a DC character at any point in your live action life,
right,
you're probably going to be a part of this.
Oh yeah. Well, what was so cool is they showed what's his name as Superman. As Kingdom Come Superman.
Oh, Brandon Routh. Yeah, he had the Kingdom Come Superman logo on, which was badass.
Yeah, now that's how it was like, oh, not only are you going to be Superman, you're going to be the... Now, here's the question. Is he going to be Superman Returns? Superman Gone? That's where that timeline went?
I would imagine. I think that's probably how they'll do it.
That's so cool. And I read or I heard that in the CW Crisis thing that they did last year, one of the heroes from a multiple different timeline went up to John and was like, hey, where's your ring? I thought that was so cool. Like, oh, yes, of course. Everyone's been theorizing that he's a lantern. Yeah, man. Imagine if he got a spinoff show at the end of this. It was like, oh, yep, he's Green Lantern TV show. I don't know. I want to catch up with Arrow because that was one that I followed for so long. And maybe I'm gone. Maybe I've been off for like one season, maybe two. I want to catch up with it before that ends because I do want to see that all the way through. Yeah. I've invested so much into it. That's the problem with these CW shows is that at some point I just fell off.
Yeah.
Because it got to be so much.
Yeah. It became too much of a good thing. It really did.
Right. And there's too many episodes. It's to the point where it's like, if you think, you know what, I'm going to knock out Jessica Jones this weekend, you totally could because there's a few episodes. Or Stranger Things or something like that. When it's this, it's like, no, there's like 20-something. Like, fucking A. Oh, it's too much.
Yeah, and I think if they're gonna start going the streaming route, I think that's the only legitimate upside to all of these networks starting to go streaming is that they're going to have to start cutting episode orders. We got to get away from this 22, 24 episode nonsense.
Yeah. Well, what they should do is they've been adding all these shows, like they're getting the Batwoman and stuff like that. That's great. Add more shows, cut the seasons in half.
Yeah.
That way you're spending the same amount of time making TV shows, but there's going to be different products, and people might be interested in this and might not be interested in that, but they might be interested in Batwoman or whatever. That's how you should do it. You don't need 24 episode seasons. You just do a couple.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I need to finish that and then maybe catch up on Flash, but it's just so much.
Yeah.
But when I hear these things and I'm like, oh shit, he's Kingdom Come Superman, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ray Palmer. Like,
yep. Yeah.
That's a meeting I want. I want that scene.
Yeah.
I want the Atom and Superman to meet and just be like, oh, so this would be how Chris Evans would feel if we did Captain America versus Human Torch.
Right, exactly. It's so good.
So, which one of you has the vegan powers again?
Right.
No, that was a different movie with the same guy was in. With Chris Evans. God, I rewatched Scott Pilgrim like a week ago, and it blows my mind to look at that and be like, okay, Captain Marvel, Captain America, Superman.
Yep.
Like, I'm just like, what the hell?
Who?
I'm just like, what is going on in this movie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Oh, yeah.
We got a few details about The Longest Night. That's probably gonna be the prequel Game of Thrones series title.
Yep.
Fine with that. Works for me. This is gonna go back to what's known as you're the resident historian on the show here. It was the time of the Petty Kingdoms, where it was like
there's a ton of kingdoms. This was back when like Starks were around, no Lannisters. You'll have
It was called Casterly Rock because it was inhabited by the Casterlys, right?
Right. Yeah, the Lannisters took that over.
Yeah.
That's why that line landed so well when they're like, "Who do you think you're talking to? Like, you're all a bunch of cutthroats.
Yeah.
Like, you're not the original people to sit in that on that rock."
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have the Starks, probably very different. But yeah, there's there wasn't a unified kingdom. This was before Rhaegal, so this is before it's kind of like I don't know. It's like if the United States weren't united. They're all their own little kingdom, if that makes sense.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, this was before all of that, and that's why the story made so much sense, because all that had to happen. They had to be united in order to take out the White Walkers or whatever. So like, this is going to be a time before that, and it's going to be Wild West, not Wild West obviously, but it's going to be wild.
Yeah.
It's going to be very I imagine much darker. I don't know. I'm excited. I've been reading what's it called? Hold on, sorry. Give me a second.
Or look for is it like a history of something or a compendium?
History of Westeros, I think it's. Let me find the book title. It's in the other room. 1 second. Let me pull it up here.
But,
The World of Ice and Fire.
Okay.
Yes, and it's like, let's start at the beginning of time, and it goes all through all the other things. That's the thing is, this is going to take place on Westeros. There's so much more to the world, which I do hope they dive into a little bit with this, because there's so much more than just Westeros.
Yeah.
And Essos. There's so much more to the world. But yeah, this is and I like that they also added in the tagline, it's not the story of what you think. Because obviously a tale is told a million times and it's changed and it's altered, and it's whoever tells the story is actually, they can say whatever they want and people will believe it because that's all they have is a story.
Exactly.
And so I love that they add all of that was added to be like, yes, in this thing it's gonna be wild. But yeah, no, I can't wait. I really can't wait. And we're gonna see probably a lot of Children of the Forest and all that other stuff. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be
Yep.
very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that started filming too, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's already filming. It's coming out early next year.
God, it is already. Yeesh.
Yeah, not early maybe, but I don't know. It's coming out next year.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Netflix jumped in. They said, We've heard a lot about this whole Sandman thing, and it never got a movie off the ground.
Yeah.
We want it. We're gonna do a show. This is gonna be nuts because this is gonna be fantastic. Now, this is something that I absolutely would have killed for as a series instead of a movie. So I'm glad we're getting it.
Yeah.
It's got an official 11 episode order. Alan Heinberg from Wonder Woman is going to write and showrun, and of course,
Cool.
Gaiman is going to be, I imagine, as heavily involved as he feels necessary.
Right.
Pretty much like with every thing that he works on. And I bet this was influenced by how well Good Omens did. When they were like, oh, people really like this stuff.
Yeah.
Neil, over here, come work for us. Why? We'll make Sandman. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But I'm excited for this. I'm very excited for this on Netflix because, God, that's trippy.
Oh yeah.
Sandman.
Well, I mean, it isn't Lucifer the TV show based off of the Lucifer in the Sandman series?
Yes.
Right. That's what it was. Okay. He was like a CSI agent or something like that, right?
Well, he was just Lucifer, and he just up and left hell. He was just like, I'm bored now, and he left.
Right, and that's what he does in the show. But I didn't know if in the comic it was any
There
different.
There was a spin-off comic that I did not read.
Okay.
But it is that character. It is based on that version of that character.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Jon Favreau has said he's already working on writing season 2 of The Mandalorian because, I mean, of course he is.
Of course.
That was no surprise.
That show is going to be so good.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
That show I'm more excited than anything.
Yeah. Talking about Netflix, they've got something else coming. It's going to be called The Cuphead Show.
There you go.
And it will be based on Cuphead, the video game, or inspired by, at the very least. So, okay, sure, why not? And it's apparently going to be a 4Kids cartoon, I believe is what I read.
Yeah.
So, okay, sure, knock yourself out. Go back to that style of animation. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
There's a market for it. Absolutely is. Hell, I'll watch it. I love that stuff. I'm waiting to find like a good sale to pick up Cuphead on because I need things to be cheap before I buy them.
Right.
But I want it for Switch. I want it for the Switch.
Yeah.
Because I just think that would be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it. As soon as they first announced it, I was in just because it was like they took that art style and made a video game out of it. Yeah. I was so in. They're like, it's hard. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Oh yeah.
And then because Warner Brothers needs even more bad ideas, they are doing an adult animated comedy, which to me reads, like Adult Swim style comedy or Family Guy or something like that. Of the Flintstones.
Okay.
Because why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Family Guy Family Guy is an evolution of the Flintstones.
Sure.
Just like the Simpsons are,
And I mean,
the same thing.
The Flintstones was an animated version of the Honeymooners.
Right.
I mean, that's the fun thing. You really go back and watch the Flintstones. It's not exactly a kids show.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
It's not adult oriented per se, but it was very much in the vein of
it's cigarette commercials.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And it's going to be produced by Brownstone Productions, which is Elizabeth Banks' company.
Okay.
So, all right, cool. Have fun with that. It'll be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll kick through some of this video game news.
Yeah.
We mentioned the Switch Lite earlier. It comes out September 20th. So
real fast. Lord of the Rings, didn't it get a casting?
There was somebody who I can't remember. There was like a casting announcement.
Yeah. Let's see. What's her name?
I don't know.
Real fast.
That's why we're looking it up because we can't remember.
The wrong person to pronounce a name here.
Give me a second and I'll try to find it.
Markella.
It's under news. Lord of the Rings TV show cast first series regular. Markella Kavanaugh. Oh, that one's easy. You could have gotten that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's Australian, so okay, sure.
Yep. I don't know. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, she will play a character known as Tyra, and that's literally all we know.
Yes. No. I mean, I want to go. I want to go back and rewatch the extended versions of Lord of the Rings.
I've got somebody who's doing that now because they're like they discover they have a thing for trilogies, and so they're like now they're watching Lord of the Rings. And I was like,
Do they like behind the scenes stuff?
I don't know.
Because that is the best. That's the series that I can go to and be like, if you like behind the scenes stuff,
Oh yes,
go buy those 3 movies. I think they're like $10 each on Amazon, the extended versions.
15
And
I think.
No, I think it was on sale.
Well, I mean, but I think because I looked just the other day because I've been pricing Blu-rays like crazy, and I think they're 14, 15.
For Amazon Prime.
Lord of the Rings Extended Edition.
Yes, they're not on sale anymore, so it's $14.
Yeah, that was what I thought.
Yep, yeah, they were on sale for $10 each. But mine just say Prime Video on it now.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that, but where's?
Yeah, but I think it came with all the stuff from the Blu-rays.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Format Blu-ray. Here we go. Let me see. Get a clear, and of course, like the whole thing, the giant extended edition craziness is still $80.
Right. Those are worth it though. Like, well, I mean, maybe not the Blu-ray. Wait until you get the 4K, I guess, because that's what Blu-rays will be VHS in a few years. It seems like, but
yeah, basically.
But those series with all of the behind the scenes stuff, and you could honestly probably find a lot of it on YouTube, but it's so fascinating because they recorded everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything, every little thing they would record, and Peter Jackson just took a camera everywhere with him, and everyone's making jokes, and it's such a cool eye on the wall. If you liked the Game of Thrones, that last episode where it was like, hey, we're going to show you what it's like to be on set, it's like that. And it's just, I'm in love with that kind of stuff. I wish more people did it. Star Wars did it a lot, of course. Episode 1, the prequels, there's tons of behind the scenes footage. The newer ones, not so much. I didn't find. I found the last one had a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Along with Rian Johnson, but I wish there was more. I want a whole television show. I want a whole I wish there was a station based off back to the scenes stuff, behind the scenes stuff.
Oh,
that
yeah.
You could turn on next to A&E or something. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm right there with you. His Kong movie has a boatload of special features too, pun mildly intended.
Yes.
It's weird. It seems like it's always Peter Jackson movies where it's just like, and here's how we made everything.
Yes. Oh man,
which
it's
I'm
so good.
Which I'm totally fine with. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it says, I spent equivalent of watching a full day's walking hours in front of a big screen TV the past winter break. Yeah, no, I don't know. The reviews are funny for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so yeah, that's the thing that's happening with my friends. It's like, yes, I'm going to do this. And I was like, all right, I'll see you in a month. Like,
yeah, man, it's so good. There's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
oh man!
All right, well, go ahead and dive into this video game news here. We had the Switch Lite was announced the other week.
Yeah,
comes out September 20th.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it in yellow, gray, or turquoise.
Is turquoise the one that's the Pokemon one?
No, it's just blue.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so the Pokemon one is going to be a little bit later. I think you got to wait a few weeks.
Yeah, because
September.
Sword and Shield won't have come out by then.
So the best looking one, it comes out later.
yeah, basically.
Because it looks so cool.
Yeah.
The buttons and stuff.
It's going to be 200.
Yep. It's
going to have an actual D-pad on it.
It's going to remove all the features about the Switch, but add a D-pad.
Yeah, basically.
Make the screen smaller.
This is basically the DS replacement.
Yeah, the DS Lite, essentially. Yeah. This is something you get your kids if you already. Here's the thing: if you don't have a Switch, buy a regular Switch because you get the Rumble, you can actual switch it. If you already own a Switch and you have a kid, or if you're very mobile, you're on a bus all the time, get this as well.
This is a great the Switch audience was like, hey, people want a new Nintendo console. Great. Hey, commuters can take this with them when they go. Cool.
Yeah.
This is that audience. If you play this more on the go than you do at home, this is for you. And this thing will sell like mad.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. That's what I love about this is that there's a Switch for someone who doesn't own a Switch yet. Go get the regular one. It does all that crazy cool stuff. Even the new one, what I'm shocked is that this doesn't have the new chip, which has the better battery. That's weird to me.
I guess because it got rid of so many other features.
You would think that this would have a better battery life because it doesn't have any of those features. If it's just the chip doing it, I don't know. That's where the weird. I wish that's the only negative I could see about this. Is I wish this had the better battery life because it's the mobile version, you know. But besides all that, it's still. I mean, you can't beat it. $200 and you can have, you know, the entire Switch library. There's only a handful of games that you can't really play on it. But would you really want to play? What was it? 1-2 Switch?
Yeah, it's basically everything that like you have to that like requires you to connect two Switches, basically.
But if you play, especially if you just play it solo, which most people do, a lot of people have kids and stuff like that. Like I said, my friend, whenever I go to her house now, I actually signed in. I didn't realize you could do this. I signed into my account on her Switch, so her kids could play Mario Kart and all those other games I own, as long as I'm not playing it.
Okay.
They totally just click on it, sign into my name, and they can play the games.
Huh.
I didn't realize you could do that, but apparently, like, it's just like the PlayStation, where my Switch is the main Switch with my account. But that is a secondary Switch. They have their own account on it, and all they have to do is go into my profile on their Switch, and then they can play Mario Kart and all my other games.
I didn't know they did that.
I was like, yeah, because we were sitting in her house, and she was like, I brought Mario Kart the other day, but I didn't bring it that time. She's like, let's play Mario Kart. And I was like, I think I can sign into this. And I did, and it totally worked. And I created a profile on her Switch and signed into it. And we sat there and played Mario Kart forever. It was fun. And and then her kids now can play it, that Mario Odyssey and all the other ones that I have, as long as I'm not playing it. And here's the thing. They go to bed super early. I only really play the Switch when I get off work at night or something, so it works out.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's the only, they're a text message away, like, hey, I want to play some Zelda or something. But I thought that was fascinating, and I imagine that's what a lot of people will be doing, who have kids. They're going to buy this Switch Lite, and they don't have to create, like, a new profile or whatever. They can use the same profile as long as one person, only one Switch can play that game at a time. So if the kid's playing Mario Kart on their Switch and you're playing Zelda, you're fine. And that's why I think this is kind of geared towards, especially with Pokemon coming out, in a month or two.
Yeah.
This is perfect for that. Cool colors too.
Yeah. Yeah, they look neat.
They're very see-through atomic purple though.
Man. Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't they do that? They could print money. I literally went on a website to see how much it would cost to get those.
Yeah.
I saw polls online. It's by far the most requested is the atomic purple.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. That thing was badass.
It totally was. Even if they did the other codes, like what the Donkey Kong 64, like all of those would be cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
But anyway, full D-pad. That's one of the real sells for it too, for a lot of people, for like the platforming games.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why they don't sell a left Joy-Con with the D-pad. Like, what's wrong? That Nintendo is brilliant, but they're also they get in their way of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make any sense why they don't sell that. But they'll sell a thing that you go to sleep with and catch Pokemon in your sleep. I don't know. Anyway, that's not Nintendo. But anyway, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The next thing, let's move on before I get upset. But anyway, if you don't have a Switch, buy a regular Switch, or if you just want a cheaper one and you're like, hey, I'm just on the go all the time. I'm never gonna plug it into a TV, and I literally love my 3DS. Just buy the Switch Lite. You're fine. $200, and you get that whole library, and the library is stacked now. You got Marvel-ous that just came out, the Fire Emblem game that's coming out next week that I hear is just so good. Like, have you seen any of the gameplay for this Fire Emblem game?
Unless they showed something during their E3 Direct.
I would recommend going and checking it out.
Okay.
Fire Emblem games I've always were hesitant about because of the style of gameplay it is.
Yeah.
It is very it breaks into a grid-based kind of like it's super strategic. It's not easy, and it's not action-based. It's strategic, but the game play is basically Harry Potter and Game of Thrones mixed together. Like kind of Persona as well, because like you're new to the school, you're a teacher, you get to choose which, are you gonna be teaching the Gryffindor, you're gonna be teaching the Slytherin, or you gonna, basically you pick a house that you're gonna teach, and the characters, it's all voice dialogue, and the story just is, and you're a teacher and you're running around and you're doing all this strategic battle stuff, but in the meantime you're doing all this wacky weird JRPG but in a fantasy world setting with magic and it's very much fantasy with Fire Emblem, with dragons and knights and all that other stuff. But it just looks like there's so much game in there.
Nice.
And it's been, everyone that I've seen that's been talking about playing it has said they can't put it down. Surprisingly, that and Dragon Builders 2 they can't put down.
Yeah, that one doesn't surprise me because that got a lot of people hyped. Yeah,
so those 3 games alone, Dragon Builders 2, Marvel, Marvel honestly looks like the weakest of those 3 because it just looks like a beat 'em up. But I mean, how long have we been saying the Switch needs a bunch of Marvel superhero beat 'em up games? And There you go, you got it.
Yep.
And then Fire Emblem the next week. Like the last few weeks have been killer for the Switch. So if you're in the market for one, go. This comes out in a few weeks. Go get it. You can't go wrong, especially if you have like a PlayStation and an Xbox already. This is your perfect Mario machine. Anyway, sorry. Where are we at?
No,
PS Plus games.
Yeah, PS Plus games. Horizon Chase Turbo, which is great for anybody who misses like the old Top Gear.
Yeah.
Like this is that style racing game. It's fun as hell. And Detroit Became Human. Also, it's the deluxe edition that includes Heavy Rain. It replaces PES 2019. I'm not sure why.
I'm sure FIFA had a little thing to do with that. Like, excuse me? We have your ads on everything PlayStation. What are you doing?
Yeah, I guess.
I imagine they had a little bit. I mean, that's what I imagine because they threw Detroit in there. They threw one of their own games in there real fast.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. At least that's what I was reading.
That sounds the most likely. Yeah, well, we're not too happy with EA, so they can suck it.
I agree. I agree. Did you see that Disney was thinking about buying Activision? They floated the idea of just purchasing Activision Blizzard.
There's a way to make a stock price jump 5 points.
Yes. Oh man, if they would want that Star Wars license back real fast. Imagine a Blizzard studio making a Star Wars game. That would print money.
Yeah, well, we said that about EA too. Hey, BioWare's gonna make another Star Wars game again. That's awesome.
No, not EA. I would have. There's a million other studios above EA. I would have faith in or be excited for.
Because come on, BioWare made KOTOR.
That's true, but BioWare did not make a Star Wars game, or since then.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like they are an EA company, though.
But they weren't EA before they were. They EA when they made KOTOR?
No, but I
don't think they were.
No, but that's what I'm saying is like after that they got bought by EA, and then somewhere down the road it's like, oh, EA has the Star Wars license now. Hey, BioWare is an EA company.
That's true. We were all thinking that. That's right.
Yeah.
And they've done nothing. They've done jack shit. They made 2 terrible fucking shooters and some shitty mobile games. Man, that makes me so mad because when I'll turn on my PlayStation and I'm like, oh yeah, I got a Star Wars game, and it just feels bad.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's one of those, especially the second one. It's like I can hop in there with a friend, and we all have all the same maps because they did that right, but they did everything else wrong because of those fucking loot boxes.
Yep.
Oh man, there has to be an in between, and maybe I understand Call of Duty is going the route of no maps or whatever to pay for. Just make it cosmetic stuff. And that was the thing, is the Star Wars stuff wasn't even cosmetic. The loot boxes. I don't know. Anyway, did you see that they're putting did you see the Grand Theft Auto news?
No. Oh wait, yes, I did. I don't know exactly what it is.
We're putting a casino in here, literally gambling. Like they're not shying away from it at all.
Well, I mean, that's their thing.
Yeah, like it's not even like Jim Sterling goes way after these studios for like saying they're not gambling stuff, but GTA is like, oh no, this is straight up a casino. You're gonna take your real money, you're gonna put it for in-game money, and then you're gonna gamble it away. Literally, this is a casino.
Hey, at least it's not false advertising.
At least it's that's what I was gonna say. At least they have the balls to be like, this is what it is.
It's not a surprise mechanic.
Which is crazy because in a few years, man, the government's they're gonna crack down on this.
But here's the thing though, and here's the way they can kind of get around it. You're buying in-game currency, correct?
Sure.
Okay, that in-game currency can be used for other things, correct?
What do you mean?
Like, you can use the in-game currency on things other than the casino, right?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I imagine you can buy cars and stuff like that.
Okay, well then, hey, this is just an option. Loot boxes were direct gambling. You were spending money directly on a thing that was not... There was no in-between. This is an in-between. Yeah. This is like, hey, look, you pay for this in-game money. What you do with that money is up to you, as opposed to, hey, you're buying...
No, this is totally them adding loot boxes to the game. They're calling it what it is. They're like, oh yeah, it's a casino.
Well, but you're not buying the loot boxes outright. It's not like spend $5 for this pack of loot boxes. I think there is a distinction there in that you're not directly paying for that thing, which may or may not be a thing. You're not walking up to the table with your money and immediately gambling. That's what a loot box was a direct... You are paying real world money.
No, you're immediately gambling. I think you're literally hitting a slot machine, or you're literally doing a blackjack.
Right. But with in-game money that can be used for other things.
Right, but I mean, but it's the same thing as like Overwatch. It's in-game currency that you're hitting. You're spinning that wheel, and suddenly you're getting nothing.
Right, but let me come at this from a different angle.
I mean, you literally might get nothing by spending your money.
Right. I'm not... No. Here's the thing. I'm not debating what they're doing. Yeah. Yes, it's a casino. It's directly gambling. I get that. But
you can spend $100 and legit get zero.
Right. But here's the thing, though. Hang on. Let me come at this a different way.
Yeah.
You've been able to buy in-game currency before, correct?
Yeah, I think it's like shark cards. You can go to like GameStop and buy shark cards.
And you have that currency now to spend on whatever you wish, right?
So in the game, I believe you've been able to take that currency and go and buy cars and whatever.
Right. Okay. So now they're adding the casino as an option for that in-game currency, right?
Right. They're basically you put $100 in your spin the wheel and get nothing. And
right. But here's where I'm talking about the difference with something like Battlefront, with a lot of things with loot boxes.
Right, you're saying at least there's an option, like, hey, you can go actually buy something, or you can go be a fucking idiot over there.
Exactly. It's not a direct, like with loot boxes.
No, I agree, but I also, it's one of those, like, I guess this game is rated mature.
Yes. It's not meant to be played by people under a legal gambling age, basically.
Right, but this, oh man, I see this being a slippery slope.
I agree, but I see how they get around it here, where you're not... It's not like, hey, pay $4 for this pack of things where you may get nothing. It's pay $4 for this in-game currency that, if you want, you have the option to spend at a casino where you may wind up with nothing.
Right.
It's a workaround, and it's a very clever Grand Theft Auto style workaround. But I agree that it does not set a great precedent. It's like and I think there's got to be plenty of tongue in cheek to go with it. But I think this is one of those jokes maybe you don't make.
Yeah. Yep. But, yeah. It's I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't play GTA, so I'm not too big into it. But I'm sure we'll find out soon if you know.
Yeah, we'll see how well this goes over.
Yeah.
But we'll bounce around here. Games with gold. This month, the big Xbox One for the month of July is Inside. And then you have
it's a good game.
It is.
Go play it, yeah.
It's very good. And then the half and half one is Big Crown Showdown. It's available from now until the middle of August 15th. The two backwards compatible games are a mixed bag of awesome and what the hell. The first one is no longer available. It was Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I hope people pick that one up because it's awesome. Symphony of the Night was fantastic. The one that's available now is Meet the Robinsons.
Oh, God.
Based on the hit Disney movie that everybody forgot about of the same name.
Oh man, I saw that and I was like, "What is this garbage?" Everyone apparently likes it, but I did not like it.
There's always one like that every once in a while where it's just like
Yeah.
this. Oh my God, this was a thing, wasn't it? Oh my
Yep.
God. But anyway, big fun.
Yep.
Amazon Game Studios, which I forgot was a thing at all, has announced that they are working on a Lord of the Rings MMO.
Yep. Free to play, apparently. Yay.
Yes.
Loot boxes.
Surprise mechanics galore.
Yep.
I
mean, who am I kidding? We're all going to try it, of course, but...
Oh, yeah, sure.
We'll see how garbage it is.
Yeah. But anyway...
I think there's a way to do a free MMO correctly. Like, if it's like ESO, great. Make it where it's like, you know, you can play it for free, but... if you do it where you pay $15 a month and you get all this like what's the word where it's like you get more bag space and you can travel anywhere and you have everything unlocked, it's like it's way more convenient, and it's for the people who are really invested in the game to spend money, and the ones who really aren't, you can still get them to try. Be like, hey buddy, come play with me.
That's the thing. For a free to play game, there is that fine balance, and I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head with that.
Yeah.
Is people who aren't going to be invested enough to want to spend that kind of money are not going to play enough to need all of these things.
Right. But if you want the quality of life type stuff,
yes,
and there's a ton of people that play ESO, and that's the thing. MMO players, they don't buy a game or two a month, or they don't buy a shitload of games. They literally have that one game they play. Every once in a while they'll buy a game, but that $15 a month goes towards that game, and it's for them to. It's like Warcraft or Final Fantasy. There's only a handful of games that can be released in 2019 and be profitable that have a monthly charge, because it's way too much. It's way too easier to do the ESO route where they can charge you $10 for a dog and $5 for a lizard person to follow you around, or whatever they do, because that's how they make their money. And there's people out there that just spend galore with it. And hey, ESO would have been dead if they wouldn't have done that.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, and it's super profitable because it's on everything now. I'm shocked it's not on the Switch, but yeah. So anyway, so I'm curious to see what Amazon does with that. I'm curious if it, how well it does. I'm curious just to know about it. Yep. I remember when the first game of Lord of the Rings Online came out, and me and my friends played that for months. It was so much fun. Like, that's when you really got to know the Shire and all the surrounding places and whatever. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, Spider-Man.
Yeah, Far From Home suits now free for Spider-Man PS4.
Cool.
Very nice. And they look pretty badass. I've been using the stealth suit a lot now. Because I'm just going back and playing through it again, because it's just a fun way to kill time.
Oh, yeah.
So, we talked about EA screwing up Star Wars games. We have to talk about what was said about Fallen Order here in the last couple of weeks. Stig Asmussen, who's the game director, has gone on record with this. The main character is a human because they didn't want to alienate players.
Yeah, I read that. I heard that before. Like, a lot of Star Wars games do that. I think it's so stupid. If you had a Wookiee as the main character in a game, I'd be all about it.
I think, here's the thing. I think Wookiee is a bad choice because then you're going to need subtitles all the time.
Well, that's what was going to be the star of Force Unleashed. It was going to be a Wookiee.
Interesting.
And they changed it.
Here's the thing. Most alien Jedi characters are humanoid anyway.
Right.
So there is no problem.
I mean, Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Who's to say any of these are humans?
Yeah.
None of them came from Earth.
Yeah. They're, give me,
you get, I get what they're saying,
I think this is just the laziest, stupidest kind of tribe. Well, we didn't want to make anybody mad, so we made it a person. Shut up.
It's just stupid.
It is. It's
was
just...
he trying to make a dumb joke? Like, it just doesn't...
That was what I was hoping. When I read the headline, I was like, okay, what kind of funniness is this? And they were like, no, they're serious. I was like, are you... Okay,
If they didn't
so
want to alienate people, why would in the new Star Wars Battlefront games they would make the alien creatures the most hardest to get?
yeah.
Everyone wants to run around as an alien in those games. Get out of here. I want to be that monkey thing from Rogue One that just screams and waves his hands around.
I mean, if you're gonna say we want to make sure that people can relate to the mystical telekinetic laser sword wielding space monks, I just you don't. These things make me crazy. These things make me absolutely crazy. Why? Why do we have to keep fighting the stupid cosmetic battles? Why can't game studios and TV companies and movie studios just say, "Look, this is this. Deal with it."
Yeah.
And people are gonna get mad and they're gonna get upset, and that's why.
Make it a Gungan. Like I would have played.
Oh man, that's how you alienate people. No, I think that is the one. I really, honest to God, I have to back up on this.
These new Battlefront games I've talked about, I want to play a freaking Gungan, and they won't do it. They're cowards.
I'm okay with them in Battlefront, but I think if you're going to make the protagonist of a Jedi game a Gungan, what?
Made him a droid and make you find out halfway through that he's a droid.
That would be amazing.
And then he questions his whole existence.
Well, but then you have to wonder, because the Force is only supposed to flow through living things.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, now there's something.
That's how you do it. And then you have him questioning, wait, am I real? Did someone make me? Am I part human? And then, boom, you got half the story to figure it out.
Oh, I would be so in for that.
Yeah, but they keep doing I'm a generic guy from a TV show's face that you've seen a million times.
Exactly.
And I have a lot of Jedi power. Like, get out of here with that. Don't get me wrong. I'm totally going to play the hell out of this game, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, well.
But give me a Wookiee protagonist. Give me anything. Give me a Tusken Raider. Like, you could go anywhere with this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Give me a Hutt.
That'd be awkward.
Thrawn's race.
Oh, the Chiss. Oh, now there's something.
Yeah. Make a story about the Chiss. Basically, the Thrawn story of him escaping and going to this other universe. Do that. Make me the dumb blue guy in Return of the Jedi that's banging on the drums. I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous. An Ewok. Give me an Ewok.
You can play as them in Battlefront 2, can't you?
I think you can actually. There's a mode where you can do it. Ahsoka. What's Ahsoka? Give me an Ahsoka game. Ahsoka. This should be Ahsoka game. FYI, and I've said that from the beginning.
Yes, and you're absolutely right.
This should be Ahsoka's game, and if she's not in it, I'm going to be upset. But her race, I don't know. I forget what it's called. It's like a turtle.
She's not a Twi'lek, is she?
No, she's not a Twi'lek.
It's
like a turtle. Hold on. Ahsoka.
Yeah,
race.
I get them confused.
Togruta.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. For some reason I was thinking tortoise, but the word was there. I read it a million times.
Yeah.
I don't know. Darth Maul's race. Like there's so many things you could do. I would play a whole game as a Jawa trying to, you could make so many different weird PC games with Jawa characters.
I would love that. Here's a mini game collection of Jawas.
Yes, where you're scraping the desert. You got it. Oh man, that's a game. That's an app game that they should have made by now. By the way,
that's it. That's an app. It's a $3 app. It's perfect.
That's a $3 app where you're a Jawa getting stuff. You got to get the diamonds. You got to scrape the desert.
Here's the thing. None of these ideas are stupid in a world where we have esports farming simulator.
Yes, exactly. Give me a Tusken Raider simulator. An Ewok simulator where you're having to collect stuff and it's just your day to day. You're tired of the life, but it's the only life you have, and it's just all you know. And you got to find things in the desert and stink, man. I see there. But you know what? We got 2 shitty shooters in 10 years. God damn it! Oh man, we had a Yoda story. At some point in time.
Yep.
Oh man, but I'm telling you, man, a Wookiee game. There's not a person on this planet would not play a Wookiee game. Tell me someone who won't play a Wookiee game that's into Star Wars.
I couldn't tell you, man.
Yeah,
I got
anyone
nothing
who's
for you.
buying the Star Wars game is into Star Wars. So if you were like, by the way, you're gonna play a Wookiee, you're gonna be Chewbacca's cousin, or I don't know, Chewbacca's son, long lost son. I don't know. It would be cool. Like, people would play the shit out of that.
What would you name him? Chewbacca?
Yeah, exactly.
That's an awful
I don't know.
joke.
Give him a thing where he can talk to people, I guess. Make it like a new technology that his boy handed off to him before he died. I don't. You could make something up story-wise where they figured it out. Don't they do that in the Marvel universe anyway? They just have that thing where they can hear every language.
Huh.
In the Marvel universe, there's like a thing inside of them in the Guardians, I believe, because they're all speaking different languages.
Yeah, it's an implant of some kind. Yeah.
Yeah, just it's Star Wars. Make that shit up. We have ghosts and stuff. Come on, like, we can figure that out.
It's fair.
We have robotic zombies. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, hell, most people in the Star Wars universe understand a ton of different languages anyway.
It's called Basic, right, in the Star Wars universe?
Yeah, that's their main language, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, most people, like, how many of them, like, understand droids? I mean, they understand Shirwook. They understand, so many different languages.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Han easily picks up Chewie's stuff, and they understand the droids when they're beeping and booping. It's, I don't know. You can figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Give me a Knight of Ren. Oh, by the way, the Knight of Ren is going to be a comic Charles Soule is doing.
Yeah, so...
It's what do you call it? Not like an ongoing, which it could totally be one, but it's going to be a
limited run. Limited series,
run, yeah. Which would be cool. A lot of people are hung up on this Knight of Ren. I never thought they were that... I mean, they're cool, and it's like, I want to know more about them.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing of, like
people... I saw people commenting, like, man, I hate that they... And man, if we're going to get their full story in a comic book and not in the movie, I'm done with Star Wars. And it's like, what?
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
How many characters in Star Wars did we get just a line from?
Yeah.
And then we learned everything about them in the comics and the books and all this other stuff. Like, they don't have time to sit there and like, you know what? Hold on, pause the movie. By the way, let's tell this character story. That's like something Quentin Tarantino would do.
Yeah.
It's like they, mention it and get excited and then go read the book. Like, oh, man, what's that line from The Force Awakens? Tell it to the, what was the name of the family?
Oh.
Oh, no. I stomped you, didn't I?
Yeah, you threw this on me, and I'm, no.
Tell it to the, oh, man. Tell it to Kanji Club. That's
yes, tell it to Kanji Club.
Like, little things like that. You're like, wait, who's the Kanji Club? And then you go read the books, go read the comics, go Google it, go fall down a YouTube hole. But no, we're obviously going to get them in this. And the Knights of Ren, and they're a bigger part. And they're all over all the advertisement. But I mean, so was the Emperor's Guards and stuff like that. And we got nothing from them in the movies. We didn't even get anything from the Emperor until the very end. So I don't know. The prequels really fleshed out the Emperor more than anything.
Yeah, and I mean the Emperor's Guards, the best we ever got about them was in the video games.
And here's the thing about Star Wars. Everybody wants something fleshed out until it is.
Yes, yeah.
And they hate it.
Yeah, that's not what I wanted.
It never adds up to the years and the summers they spent reading the books as kids, wondering what all this was and about the adventures and all this other stuff. And then when it's fleshed out, it's like, oh, wait, what? Natalie Portman and who are these? What's going on? It's never as good as it is in their head.
Yeah.
That's why it's great for kids. Kids see the prequels, they're like, "This is fucking great!" Like, they're spilling Kool-Aid on themselves while Darth Maul is just murking people. But I don't know. Sorry, I've gone on too much of a tangent. But anyway, I like it all. I'm excited. I'm excited to read that comic.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do with them in the movies. I have full trust in JJ. But yeah, anyway, sorry, where were we? I went such a tangent.
Watch Dogs Legion.
Yes.
Ubisoft is screwing over content creators again by teaming up with Hit Record one more time.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, because they don't understand how demos and contracts work, I guess.
Right. I saw they were like, oh, that's they said, oh well, all this is voluntary. That was like their excuse.
Yeah.
Like, it's all voluntary. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, no, but that's not how this works. You take somebody and you say, hey, submit a demo of your stuff, a portfolio, whatever, depending on whatever media you're looking at.
It would have been easier if they just did a contest. Like, hey, submit your stuff. If we put it in here, you get paid.
Well, that's basically what they're doing.
No, what they're doing is they're saying, submit your content. We might put it in here.
And if we use it, you get paid.
Well, I don't know. What am I thinking then?
I don't know, but that's what they're doing.
I thought they were like meshing stuff together.
Well, and here's the thing:
I don't know.
If you submit stuff, other people can then come in and work on your stuff, and at the end of it, everybody who's involved in any stuff that is used
So
gets
how would
paid.
you do this?
I wouldn't.
You would just not go anywhere near that.
No, because then this is just a catastrophe. Like, this is not, and this screws over artists.
There's no way you can get away from this without a bunch of people doing a ton of work and not getting paid for it.
Exactly. This is just crap. I wouldn't do this at all. I would do this the way it's supposed to be done. Hey, submit a demo. If we like your stuff, we'll hire you. If not, thank you. Have a nice day. You know?
Right.
You don't come up to somebody and say, hey, do some brand new work for me that I may or may not use and pay you for. That's not how artistic creation works.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. This is just garbage. Don't care.
Yeah.
Well, it's headed up by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah, well, he had to screw something up, so this was it.
Yeah.
It's just, this whole thing is just crap.
Yeah.
It was bad when they announced it for Beyond Good and Evil 2, and it's bad now.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
No, I love Ubisoft to death, and I will ride with them into the mouth of hell if they need me to again, with like they did with Vivendi and all that crap. But I'm just like, this is one thing where they're just wrong. They're just wrong.
Yeah.
But you live and you learn. And people will submit because sometimes that's the only way to get stuff out there, but don't expect anything to come from this. You'll get a paycheck and thank you, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
It's like people who say, well, it's good exposure for you. Shut up.
Yeah, no.
If you're anybody who wants to commission somebody to do something and you pay them in exposure, just run in front of a bus. I've no time or patience for that. Take this, this job is good experience. Shut up. No, just stop. Just stop. But anyway, there's going to be a new Hellblazer comic.
Okay.
Like a new proper set in the Sandman universe kind of thing, John Constantine Hellblazer comic.
Yeah.
Not the new 52 Constantine, but like old school Constantine. I'm excited for that because new 52 Constantine was like diet Hellblazer. It was palatable, but not great. This is not going to be that. This is going to be good. So I'm very happy for that.
Cool.
And I think that pretty much does it for the news. We're running up on 3 hours, so can we push Spider-Man for a week?
Yeah, let's push Spider-Man.
Yeah, because we're
Yep.
This has gone on long enough.
Yes, and now we got our times nailed down. We'll be better. So we'll be back next week. Make sure you come to our Facebook, We Geek Podcast. Email us at wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. We are on Spotify. We are on everything: Apple Podcasts, Android Podcast, wherever you can find that. Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say we're probably on Area 51 podcasts.
There you go. That's in a few months, right? So that's gonna be fascinating.
That's the same day the Switch Lite drops. It's September 20th.
You go. You can go play Zelda. And go have fun doing that. Boy.
For the gamer on the go to their imminent death at the hands of armed soldiers. Like,
yeah. Don't do that, people. Like, if you're gonna go there and party outside of Area 51 and
Fine.
give people in that city your money
fine.
and buy stuff, go. That's fine. Don't go anywhere near that base.
No, don't.
It's a meme. They're funny memes. Please don't get hurt. If you take one thing away from this podcast, please don't get hurt.
Don't actually try to storm Area 51 because you will die. Like,
yes, stay alive. There's tons of great things to look forward to in the next couple of years. You don't be a meme. Because that's not going to end well for anybody.
Although if we can get a good 100,000 people who are just stupid enough to do this, then the rest of us are going to be better off. I mean, think of all the housing that opens up. I mean, the traffic that's going to
legally we are saying to not do that.
Yes, we here at We Geek Podcast no way endorse any sort of idiotic behavior of that nature.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But there are worse things in the world than less traffic.
Yeah, that's gonna be fascinating. Well, anyway, we'll see you guys next week. We'll talk about Spider-Man: Far From Home. I'm sure I'll see Lion King by then. Maybe even the Tarantino film. I got the AMC Plus Pass producers, whatever it's called,
A-list.
I just wish they weren't on the other side of I-4. It's death trap. So I will probably be taking the back roads, but I'll be seeing that probably soon. One of those movies. But I didn't even see Toy Story. Everyone says it's great.
Did you not see Toy Story 4?
I have not seen it yet. No, I just got the pass, and I saw Spider-Man, and then I had car problems, and then everything. I was like, oh great, I just got this thing, and I can't drive for a couple of days.
Toy Story. Go see Toy Story. Toy Story 4 was so good.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. It is a great coda to the Toy Story franchise. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
So probably gonna go someone to see that. I don't know if it's that or gonna be Lion King because they already saw Toy Story.
No, go see Toy Story. Like, it's so much better.
I want to see it.
It's so much better than Lion King. You've already seen Lion King.
Yeah, I know. That was my thought the other night. I was like, I have time to go do this. I really didn't, but I thought, and that was honestly my thought. I was like, I've seen that movie.
Yeah, you have.
I could just stay here.
It is exactly the same movie. And also the Toy Story theaters are largely empty now. The Lion King theaters are going to be packed for another week.
That's true. All right. Ooh, I'm getting exhausted. We're going to go. We'll see you guys next week. Captain?
Captain.